Hello, hello, hello. I apologize for the double intro there. I was having some technical difficulties, so I had to run it one more time, as they would say in the film group. I don't know where they would say that, but somebody would say that somewhere, and that's what we're doing. Who we got? We've got the Comic Burrito, dude. The Comic Burrito's live? That is not true. Comic Burrito is not live. They are messing with me. And if they are live, why are they messing with me? Like, I don't understand. That doesn't make any sense. By the way, I should be bringing our guest in, but I have to check if the Comic Burrito's live. If you guys don't know, Comic Burrito was a great show, and I love those guys. And I think they're just messing with me. I'm checking right now just to make sure. They are not live. It's all lies. The last interview they had they are live. What the heck? They're doing this year in comics. What the heck? Kind of want to leave. But I won't. I've got these wonderful people here hanging out. What? What is so funny, Michael Watson?
Kind of want to leave.
I kind of want to leave. Just got to be honest. I love the Comic Burrito, and they're not online. They don't advertise that they're online. So it was very shocking. I like Aaron. He's trying to get it when he's drinking. So he keeps picking it up to make sure that I get it when he's drinking. Oh, he's switching drinks now. It's very nice. Here, we'll see if we can get him mid-drinking. Look, Aaron's drinking. Dave was also drinking a second ago.
Oh, I timed it right.
So how is everyone tonight? We're going to have a good time. There is a lot of people on live tonight doing various shows. In fact, Dave just got off a show, right?
Yeah. Yep. So I was rearing and ready to go. I was like, oh, shit, I can just turn everything back on.
Right.
I'm good to go.
You're just like, why, why stop here, right?
Why stop here? Why walk away? Why move on with my life? What life, right? Yeah.
This is your life. I mean, Krista should come too. We should let her know that we're live. Let her know, like, she's ready to go. Though knowing her, she probably has like 5 other shows planned for this evening.
Right now.
Told me.
Right. She's probably she's multiple streaming at the same time, like muting.
Right. She told me the last year she did 145 shows.
It's insane. She is insane.
That is, I'm like, I have a show. I didn't do 145 shows. Like, that's nuts.
Disgusting.
We're gonna get Max. Hey, Max, how are you?
I'm doing okay.
Good. But yeah, so this is a show called Comic Creator Hangout. We're gonna hang out. We're gonna go over everybody's products. We're gonna talk about what they have live, and we're gonna share some stuff out. We may have some Tom Hutchinson. We may have some Pat Shan jump in later. I know Stephen Prince is gonna jump in. So if we end up being full, I will kick someone for Stephen because Stephen was supposed to be at first, but a whole bunch of people canceled last minute. So we've got some stuff going. We got people watching from all over. We're actually having a decent look. We got Chad in the house. Evening, everyone. Hey, Chad, how are you? We're going to talk about these fine men and their books and what's going on with them, and we're going to do all sorts of really cool stuff. I do these pretty frequently to talk about the hottest things on Kickstarter and what I'm backing, what's going on. There is a lot of books on Kickstarter right now, ladies and gentlemen.
It's not too shabby for a January. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's crazy. In fact, I'm going to check the numbers. So in December, just so you know, when there was a time when it was at 87, like a really low, because I've had my project up that jumped over. Let's see where we're at right now. Let's kind of check the complicator. In fact, we'll do it together. So we'll have like something entertainment to look at instead of Jimmy just typing.
Go team.
So we will discover comics. We will go to, none of that matters. We will go to right here, live projects. We are at 152 projects, so we are killing it. I want to search by popular. Where's popular? I want to see if Monster Matador is still up there. Look at this military anthology being top. Crazy. Weird stuff. All right, so we're going to talk about these gentlemen's projects. Some of them, I think. Dave, you just have a pre-launch page, right? Andrew's on.
Yes,
hey,
for
Andrew.
me. Yes.
So we're going to talk about some stuff, hang out for a little bit, have some good times. So let's start by going around the room. If you guys have a campaign live or your pre-launch, if you guys could do me a favor, if you're in this group, put it in the private chat. What I'm going to do is I'm going to be sharing these campaigns out, and we're going to try to get some backers. We're going to try to yell and pray and say why we need your backers and tell you why you should support good indie comics, not bad indie comics. That's what we're going to do tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun, and hopefully we'll all support each other and love each other, and it'll all be good stuff. How are you, Andrew? Welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
This
How you
guy
doing?
again.
I'm getting along. Nice to see you again, Aaron.
Hey, Andrew.
Andrew does look a little flirty, doesn't he? Look at he's leaning sideways, just kind of like, hello, how are you?
So,
Bet you're wondering why I asked you here today. I like it. It's a good look, Andrew.
thanks.
All right, so let's start with my boy right here, Mr. Watson. What do you got going? Who are you? What's going on? What are you trying to tell us about?
Well, I'm Mike Watson. What's going on is I'm on here with all these awesome and talented individuals. What I'm trying to tell you is to go check out my Kickstarter for the newest issue of my book, Hot Shot.
Would this be it?
That would be it. That is the one.
Yeah.
We are on the 12th issue, and this is part of the Unforgiven story arc. And basically, Hot Shot is trying to make up for some failures, but to do that, he's got to face some childhood trauma. And this is kind of a very important issue to me, as this story is based off of a situation that involved me and my mom and domestic abuse. She was being hurt by my stepfather, and I get to explore that in this issue as a superhero.
Nice. And have all the covers been revealed now?
All the covers have been revealed.
Okay, nice. That's nice. Nice. Who do we got here? So we got who's this?
That one's Ren McKenzie.
Nice. I like that one a lot. And then we got DC right here.
Yep.
DC, and then we got Will Wong. That's such a unique pencil crayon
Yeah.
style.
I like that one.
Oh,
Try to mix it up with at least one of the covers.
nice. Is this because I don't see a lot of this. And is this digital color and then a little mix, or is this all done in color pencil / crayon?
A little bit of digital color with like the filter effect over his hands.
Yeah.
But this is a traditional artist, fine artist, does traditionally landscapes, and he wanted to do one of these covers when we put the call out. And I went to college with this guy, so he's real cool people.
Nice. And then we got Adam Fields, who's so talented, always pulls things from a different angle. Yeah, it's good. And then where's the main? And that's your main cover, right?
Yes, sir.
Nice. That's nice. All right. Well, I love Hot Shot. So I have one more question about Hot Shot for people who don't know about it. How long has Hot Shot been around? Like, I recently went to eBay and saw another publishing name that I didn't know. So how many publishing companies have put out issues of Hot Shot?
3: Legacy Rising Publication, Short Fuse Media Group, and Freestyle Comics.
Wow. It was Legacy you as well, just a younger iteration of you?
No, Legacy was the first publisher I ever signed with that gave me hopes and dreams.
And crush them like they do, right?
It tends to happen. But yeah, it was good though. It was good for the beginning. I can't say that they did not help me. They did help me some significantly. It's just the closeout ended not the way that it should have. So
Sure, right. I think we've all had scenarios like that. So what is going on? Okay, we're good. All right, so you are currently at Hot Shot. We're going to write this down and see if we can increase this a little bit. You were at 2,969. You are at 53 backers. We're going to try to increase that during this program. So we'll talk about that a little bit more as we go. We're going to try to at least get you a backer or two. We're going to go through that, see what we can do. I love this series. I mean, let's be honest, 12 issues of anything in this world is amazing. It's amazing.
100%.
So
Yeah.
really proud of you. Kudos to that. That's awesome. I'm writing 14, so we got to get 12 funded so we can get to 14. You know, I mean 12's funded, but we got to get more to get it out faster. Apparently, money motivates his team. I don't understand it. I've never seen that to be true in my life, but that's what he says. It's weird.
And if I can pimp my own show for a brief moment, we've got Michael coming on Tuesday of next week.
Okay.
And we're going to talk about all 12 issues. I'd never read an issue of Hot Shot before now, and he graciously gave us 0 through 12. And we're gonna cover the whole series and kind of how it's evolved and how we got to where we are today.
But did he give you the vigilance issue?
The vigilance issue. It's not one of
You
the
need
0
to
to
give the
12.
vigilance issue because he needs the whole story. Come on, you preach this all the time, Watson.
I do.
Let me find out. Let me find the folder and
No, he
make
just
sure
told me
I'm not
He messed up.
lying.
I messed up. I did not give you the vigilance issue.
Okay. I was like, I don't think
It's
so.
like a
Now it's gonna seem like I
crossover, you
wasn't-
know.
Okay.
John. All right. Next up,
John.
so we're gonna look into that a little bit. We're gonna talk about it more. Stick around. We've got my boy Andrew here. Aaron, the only person who did not put his book in the back in the private message, unless he private messaged me on Facebook.
Sure did.
Sure did. Did you?
Not at all. Sure
You didn't do it anywhere.
No. It's all
Can
a
I get
game.
it? It's
Yeah,
all
I just put it in there. My bad.
I don't work for you.
I'm so used to hosting my own show and waiting for everyone else to put their links in the back.
Right. So, Aaron, tell everyone who you are.
Yeah, my
although John says 0 to 12 in the Wizard exclusive half issue. Yeah, where's that Wizard exclusive half issue, Mr. Watson?
I need to slide that in there real quick.
From 0 to 12 to number 1, we've got Aaron here.
Yeah, taking it all the way back. My name's Aaron, and I run Catalyst Comic Studio, and this book wasn't supposed to be one of our books, but we decided to put it out anyway. This is a little bit different of a path than people are probably used to reading from me. So far, I've done a little bit of horror. I've done a lot of superhero stuff, and now I'm taking a little jump over to, grounded in reality, chaotic feudal Japan, Knight Templar, Bloodbath Madness, and really cool limited color palette as well. But it's a really fun story about a Templar Knight who goes AWOL and ends up in feudal Japan just trying to drink his sorrows away. Gets into a drunken brawl fight with a ex-samurai's daughter, and they get broken up by a local warlord and get thrown into a whole story of will they, won't they have to destroy each other's very essence. And it's kind of a crisis of faith and a crisis of doing things in honor of God, country, and whether those things are right or if they're just wrong.
Well, so a couple questions about this series. One, what's your plan for it? How many is there an issue plan? Is it ongoing? What's the plan for it? Do you got a plan yet?
Yeah, so right now the plan is it is a 5-issue miniseries,
Okay.
or the possibility of flipping this into a just graphic novel after the first issue.
Okay,
We're
doing the
still
one
playing
that's
between the two. Yeah.
And let me tell you, man, I don't know how to say that. Like, this is the first time that I've been really excited about Joe's art. I'm not saying that, I say that like this looks like, because every artist, they need to find their color palette and everything to figure out what makes their art thing. And I believe that this is because I'm not saying Joe is a bad artist in any way, shape, or form, but this is the first time that I've seen Joe's art, and I was like, oh my God, I wouldn't have known it was Joe if I didn't read the name. And then I look up and I was like, oh, I can see Joe in there.
Yeah, for sure.
So different than his normal stuff.
Yeah, I think Lois really brought a whole other level to. Look, Joe's lines are just ridiculous.
Right?
If anyone ever sees his line work, they're ridiculous. And I think it's because he does it all in Illustrator. But anyway, the colors on top of that, and then giving her that limited color palette, she just is absolutely murdering it. No pun intended.
Yeah, well, and then the lettering is fantastic. Are you doing the lettering on this?
No, I'm trying to retire completely from it. Van Claridge, he's one of our oldest fans. He started working on his own comic book, and while he was
Okay.
doing that, he started lettering, and he just wanted to be involved with Catalyst somehow, some way, and so we started talking and let him do some work, and brought him on for this because of the other work he did, and I think he's doing some really awesome stuff. The new pages we're getting, they're even cooler than the lettering he's doing on these.
So is this his first lettering gig?
This is his first like released. Yeah, I mean, I think this is going to be his first released lettering gig.
I mean, this guy's fantastic. If this is his first coming out the door, man, like, damn.
I'm saying.
I mean, there's some good. I mean, there's some stuff that I do differently, but they're not. It's not wrong. It's just I would do it different, you know.
Yeah.
But it's so good. It's so good. This is a really good looking book, Aaron. I really think this is one of your best books.
Thanks, man.
Styles Wall coming out, and I'm really excited for it. Hopefully, we can get you some backers and get you some stuff. In fact, we already did. I wrote down earlier 161.16. You were 55 backers. You're at 56 backers. You're at 16.21. So somebody backed in. So
there you go. Just like that.
See what else we can get. That's awesome.
Appreciate you, man.
We got Steven saying Happy New Year. We got Judah saying great love. Yeah, man, this is good stuff here. This is good stuff. Funny Fig saying that's spectacular. Yeah, I really think this colorer and Joe need to stay together. Like they like this
it's
is
up to me. We're gonna work on other projects together as well.
Yeah.
So
and I've seen it, man. Like I've seen it where like the art's good if you see it separately, and then the colors, they don't always match up. But this is the perfect pairing. And I think like any pro would tell you that too. Like this is my coloring guy. When I get him, I look better, you know?
Yeah.
So I love it. Love it. Andrew.
Hey.
You're still making comics?
Right? I did my whole big go big or go home campaign, my first one, and I went big.
You went big, yeah.
Forever to get it done and out. But I just finished that last.
And I got it. Yeah, I think I may have it, even have it here. Hold on, let me check. I got a stack of stuff I've backed recently. I got that. I got that. I got the Corruptor. I got Mythic Fall, Nebulizer, Discordia. Come on. Shimshaw. This was just stuck. This is a FSK book. We got some 5-star there. No, I must have put it in my read pile. You're welcome.
Thanks.
That's my. I need to get it to the read pile. Like there's stages of these things.
Oh yeah.
And unfortunately, as if anyone who knows me or and you're on my page, probably. Oh wait, hold on. We've got a new challenger. Stephen Prince is coming in.
Yeah.
Thank God the Kardashians let you come out to play today. I'm really excited to see you, Stephen.
I had to finish cleaning their pool.
Right, I understand. If you guys don't know, Stephen works in California, and based on what I've seen from Keeping Up with the Kardashians, everyone in California works for them on some level.
That's pretty much, yeah. Dave Baxter works for them too. He doesn't want to talk about it.
Nope.
All right, so let's.
He's their sommelier.
So I'm the owner of Apo Apsu Entertainment.
Okay.
And I'm really excited about this new project. It's a new #1 because my first project was I wrote it and it was my proof to myself that I can make a comic book.
Right.
The second one, this is my first client. This is an author, indie author that I signed and I adapted her book, but it's in the process of being adapted. So issue 1 is about the first 3 chapters. Those are just some add-ons that I included in the campaign, but here's the book. Right now it's in black and white. I actually think it looks good in black and white, but we have a stretch goal for color. But we might just, leave it black and white for the series and then maybe put color on the trade. So like one of my author friends was telling me that just like a novelist will finish their book, self-publish, automatically get their book translated to audiobook, he thought that comics is the next thing. Every author's going to want to get their book adapted to comic book. So I'm trying to set that up myself. This is my first go with a client, and hopefully we'll be successful on this project. I know we're going to be successful in this project. I have her signed for 2 books.
Nice.
2 issues, and if she's happy with the progress, then we'll sign for 2 more issues. It's looking probably 6 issues or so,
Okay.
and then we'll collect it into a trade.
I love the logo.
Hopefully, I'll get some more. Yeah, Pak Kwan did that for me. I've been using him for a while now. He's pretty good. I like his stuff.
Can I ask who the artist is?
So the interior artist is Ricardo Areola.
Oh, beautiful stuff.
His
Beautiful
picture.
work.
Yeah, he did an amazing job on this.
Yeah, really
It's
nice.
really good. I like the I like this color. I like the fiery wings. It's good.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
going to be lenticular also, so the wings catch on fire. It's
Nice.
going to
Oh,
be
wow.
awesome when that comes out.
All right. All right. So I have you at because I know you just launched. You got $122 and 8 backers. So we'll see if we can increase that tonight. We'll go through your stuff. This isn't the first time we'll get to talk to other people about some stuff.
And I'll say, hey, if we can get 2 more backers, I will show you the cover to issue 2.
Wow. I think that's possible. Really engaging work, Judah says. And Judah says it's been really great fulfilling. Everything I backed back in April is showing up like second Hanukkah. And that's awesome, man. All right, guys, bring out your cat ears because Tom Hutchinson's in the house.
What's up, guys? How we doing?
Good, you're good.
We went
Oh,
we
good
went
graphic.
a little long with little long with Andrew. We got in a bit of a WWE argument for a while. Sort of
What was-
sidetracked us.
What was the debate? What was the debate?
How terrible Roman Reigns in the Bloodline is. How boring this thing is, and it needs to go away ASAP.
Yeah, after the Sami Zayn stuff, it really like lost its luster, right? Like Sami Zayn's is the last good time where you're like, oh, I care about these guys. I don't care anymore.
Yeah, it all reaches a point where you got to move on.
I don't think they're planning that for WrestleMania.
Yes, I would hope so.
All right. So let's go. We've got Mr. Dave Baxter here. He's got an amazing book that I've been watching the development through my Discord, which has been very cool. He's been sharing a lot of stuff there. So if you're not on my Discord, you should definitely try to join. What's cool about this one is it costs you $0. So that means if you are in this group, it is a requirement to at least click it. If you're in this, you don't have to back it. You just got to click it. All right.
You have to get the day 1 notification, then you
Right.
can fuck off.
and then
So-
you can fuck off. Like you do whatever you want, but before that, you gotta get the day 1 notification on this book. I want to share extra stuff, but I don't want to give away too much.
No worries. I can. I've got a PDF. I can share my screen and scroll through once we're done with the pre-launch page. If you want.
Yeah. You can do that.
I'm happy to share some art, but
Yeah,
yeah, we can start here for sure.
Go ahead, tell us about it.
Okay, so this is Armageddon Quest issue number 1. It is going to be a 52-page black and white interiors. This is actually an old classic, long out of print 1980s comic book. It's a comic that I read back. It's been out of print since about around the late 90s. I got my hands on the entire series back in the mid 90s, read the whole thing. It is to this day my favorite comic of all time, period. Nothing tops it in the history of comics. And that's a big statement, but it also, I'm so tired of no one else having fucking heard of this thing, let alone read it. And it's not readily available. Certainly the entirety of it is not readily available anymore. So I actually befriended the creator about 10 years ago. And because I loved this so much, I wrote to him. He lives in Copenhagen these days. And he's basically retired, but he's still like writing novels and shit like that. But I reached out to him and I got it in my head. I'm like, look, with Kickstarter being the sort of sanctuary for indie comics these days and sort of like the next big thing to get new readers onto a series, I was like, do you want to give this a try? And he was all for it. So with his blessing, and he's he's with us on this. We are going to try and build up a new readership 1 issue at a time. The entire series is done. We are just putting together new editions. a couple fun things with these new editions. One, we're going to have new covers. This is a wraparound cover you're seeing right here. The logo is shifted to make it a better Kickstarter rectangle here. But this is a wraparound cover image by Angela Odling, who did like Lucifer Licorice and has done a lot of covers for a lot of different Kickstarter creators. I was following her. I think I discovered her on Russell Novelty's comics. She did some covers for him, and Lucifer Licorice, I believe Russell wrote. She did some stories in his Cthulhu anthologies. I loved her style, and it fit the style of Armageddon Quest, Ronald Russell Roach's comic here, which I'll show you some interiors here in just a moment. So she's doing a wraparound cover. Russell Novelty himself drew an alternate cover in his very DIY underground style of art. So I'm really excited about that. And then one cover is by Ron himself. He did the line work back in 1984. And we got Mata, I don't know if you pronounce her last name Sorcier or Sorcier, but Sacrimony's creator. She did the colors of the main cover, which I will show you here in just a moment. And it's a story of a reluctant Antichrist. It's the Antichrist. It's his coming of age tale from the day of his birth until the day of Armageddon. But he doesn't want to be the Antichrist. He doesn't want to hurt anyone. He doesn't want to end the world, but the world wants him to fulfill his destiny. The world wants him to be exactly what they've said he's supposed to be from the day of his birth. And so it's really, even though it is an adventure tale, a coming of age tale, it's about finding yourself and realizing your own destiny, even in the face of everyone saying who you are and what you're supposed to be and what you're supposed to do. And it does culminate in the event of Armageddon, the apocalypse. But the fun is how that's going to play out and what's going to happen when we get there.
Nice. So kind of a Good Omens shenanigans,
Definitely. And it is not safe for work. Well, I will say, actually, let me go ahead and show you some of the art. The art makes people think it's all ages friendly. It is not. So I will say that right up front. It's not safe for work in sort of the modern traditional way. But this is a comic that Ron made for himself back in the day. Like, he was not abiding by any rules. He was just doing whatever came to mind. So the first issue is rather tame. There's a little bit of nudity, a little bit of bad language, but not that much. But as especially he comes of age and gets into puberty and gets into his young adulthood, the comic goes places. So this is not for your kids. This is a for adults comic, but let me go ahead
Let's
and
see it,
present. Yeah.
Hide your kids, hide your wife.
Yes. Let me see. Where's my PDF? Can I show a PDF, or does it have to be?
You should hit present,
tab?
and I think I can approve it.
Okay, let's see. I guess I could do my entire screen or a window. Oh, there it is. Share. All right. So this is the main cover. This is the original creator's cover, then colored by Mata. New logo by Reed Hinckley Barnes that we had made for this series. And then this is, you can see some of the black and white art kind of going in here. And then this is the interiors, the very first pages, which we've been sharing on social media. I've been posting one page a day for the last 10 days, and we're going to get to page 14 before we actually, and these first 14 pages are basically the prologue that kind of introduce, this is Tazio, our Antichrist right here, as he is in sort of young adulthood. And it gets to a point where you can see he's the Antichrist. He's like, yes,
Look at those eyebrows.
I know.
Nice
I'm refusing that that destiny. And basically what happens is this mustached guy kind of comes, he's sent by the Christ character, Emmanuel, to come get him to fulfill his destiny. And at the end of this opening prologue, he's basically like, and he's actually even neutered himself right here. As you can see, that's a plot point that's way too convoluted to get into right now, but it is a plot point. And then he's basically off to go do Armageddon, but then this guy stays behind to tell the audience here the story of Tazio, how he got to this point, and then the series goes back in time and leads us back to this point, and then we hit Armageddon.
Oh, and there's a
that's
boob.
where-
There's a boob. I saw
There's a boob. Yes, you can see a little one right there. That's that's nothing compared to where we're going to go. So I will say you can see the art style here. I was just talking to Judah on Facebook. He's in the chat section, or was. He left a comment earlier that this is. He was like, I see this a little bit as like a Eastman and Laird, like early days kind of a thing. And this was 1984, so this was right around the same time. And absolutely, I see a little bit of TMNT. I've always seen him as that, a little bit of very early Stan Sakai and Usagi Yojimbo, a little bit of Robert Crumb, especially when it gets to the adult stuff, and maybe a little bit of Tezuka and like Astro Boy thrown in there. The tone of this comic is like Golden Age Marvel meets 80s manga meets that sort of underground Robert Crumb type of a thing from that period. So it is. Yeah, it's a unique work. It's unlike anything anyone has ever read. We have a quote. Actually, let me read this quote because I do, if I can find it real quick, I do love this quote. We have a quote from Scott McCloud that he gave us as a pull quote for the comic because he remembered it from back in the day.
Hi, Travis. His name's
let's
Travis.
see.
I'm Travis. That's why it's confusing.
Yeah, that confused me. I was like,
What's
what are
pull
we
quote?
doing?
What do
Where
you
are we? So, but basically he was like this, I can't find the quote. I'll find it later, but he basically just said, he listed all the greats from the 80s. And he's like, but I remember it's like, this is in a class all its own. It's unlike all these others that I just named. And I remember this comic and I enjoyed it. And I never thought I'd see it again. And this Kickstarter is a worthy project. And I hope to see it go somewhere. And I was like, thank you. So we've got a couple of pull quotes from groups around the industry that will hopefully move the needle a little bit. But this is, not to be heretical, have you ever considered doing the color classics things? I've considered it. We do have a 12-page full color tale that is going to be a stretch goal for this that's rarely been seen in the wild, but it's a 12-page story that is a kind of prelude to the whole series, and we're going to include it for everyone. If we hit that stretch goal, that 12-pager will be a part of it. But in terms of coloring the whole thing, maybe if we get to the trades, we'll consider doing that. But I don't know. It's hard for me because I grew up with it black and white. I read it originally black and white and fell in love with it black and white. So it never struck me as something that required color. But that's a hard maybe.
All right. Well, let's go to Max. Max hasn't been on Kickstarter for a while, but Max, you got a new project up. What do you got here?
Yeah. I feel out of place here. This is a children's book, and it's quite innocent compared to some of the other stuff we've seen.
Sure. Yeah.
That's Hilda and Richie's Sandwich. That's the third book with the characters. That's I first did Hilda and Richie back in 21. And in 22, I did the sequel, Hilda and Richie's Wizard. There's going to be a fourth book next year, Hilda and Richie Go Swimming. It's about two foxes. You know, Hilda's a very wealthy vixen. She lives in a mansion in a European micro-monarchy with Richie, a fox pup. You can see she has a very unusual quirk. She's a proper lady, but she loves bubblegum. That was a plot point in the first book. Yeah, that's the lady in green there, whose now hands are covered in gum. That's her Aunt Gertrude, and she kicks off the plot here. Anna, Richie's Hilda's cousin, her birthday's coming up, and Hilda promised to provide food for the guests, and she has to do this in just a few days. So Richie suggests they build a giant sandwich, and that's what they do.
Nice.
I'm
and it looks like all your old books are here too. You can get a copy of all three books.
Yes,
so
the first and second book are one of the reward tiers.
Nice. It looks like a good campaign. You just started out, which is great. You know, this is this is your 12th campaign, huh?
Oh yeah, I've run other campaigns too, mainly for comics. I've been doing children's books lately. I'm just trying to get about $28 away from getting to 25% funded. I got a milestone bonus waiting.
Nice.
Just waiting.
Well, yeah,
for-
you're at $597 with 8 backers, and you got a good stuff. My target market here is normally comics, so I'm not sure how well we can do, but we shared it out to the world, and I'll share it out to the group, and we can see if we can get you some backers here, brother.
Well, thank you very much.
No problem. All right, let's move on from that to one of my favorite books. One of my favorite books on the internet. Is Mr. Stephen Prince's Monster Matador. How are you? How does it feel to be in California? I think Dave's in California as well, but his last name is Prince, so you're at a different level, right? You're royalty. Dave's just Dave. Right?
Yeah,
Dave's working the vines.
Beyond.
Get the wine.
Exactly. The name goes a long way.
Right.
I got to tell you, it's been rough out here lately. We've had a cold front. It's been about 59 degrees during the day.
Okay.
Very hard to deal with.
For us.
55
Really
at
is.
night.
You're like, you're joking, but it really is.
I have all the heaters blasting.
No,
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, no, literally, our heater's on. My wife keeps putting it up to like 75. It's like.
I'm in Florida. It's a little chilly right now. It's not too bad.
Where I am, it's -2 degrees.
Exactly.
Wow.
That's actual
Weird.
cold.
Yeah, that's
-2,
I still live in Chicago, so I know what that's like. But we've got Monster Matador. Our latest campaign is Once Upon Some Monsters in Mexico #2. It follows the Matadors. He's joined by a group of monster fighting luchadors in Mexico City to fight the Mega Racha, which is a giant cockroach. And as it turns out, the Matador is deathly afraid of cockroaches. So now he has to sort of overcome his fear and stand against this massive kaiju. We have catch-up tiers. We have a collection with Volume 1. We have these cool variant covers, a Cobra homage. This is one of my favorites right here, the Cobra homage.
Yeah. All your homages are really good.
Yeah. I try to come up with something.
I mean,
you know,
it may not be good for people our age. Let me revise. Like
yeah. No, yeah, absolutely. We've got a great one. I just got the color art for it for issue 3. It's the Wolverine Jungle Adventure by Mike Mignola from the early 90s. Fabio did an homage to that one.
Nice. Judah, you've been eyeing this campaign. Like, I cannot recommend this enough. I really loved Volume 1. It was so good. I read it at an airport twice. Because once I finished it, I was like, let me read that one more time to make sure I got all these complex Monster Matador issues, and I did, and it was good. Look at this sweater. That's a great sweater.
Yeah. So
we've got
t-shirts.
The cold California scene.
If you live in California, that's the add-on you need. That's right.
Right.
We've got shot glasses too, which are fun.
Was that above? Did I miss them?
I don't know.
All right.
Are they below? Maybe. Did I not put it up there?
No one knows. There is shot glasses.
No one knows. There are
so
shot
if you would
glasses.
like to get drunk with a Monster Matador, you can do that in your own Monster Matador shot glass.
I'm pretty sure that's why I forgot to put them on there.
Right.
Here it is. Yeah. And in a couple of weeks, Dave Baxter put together a wine tasting and comics event at, I don't know where, I forget where, but I'm going to be there with Monster Matador.
In Los Angeles, it's in person. We'll be doing 3 creators, 3 wines at a winery called the Blending Lab in Los Angeles. If anyone's in the LA area, West Adams Blending Lab, you can Google that. But Saturday, the 20th from 5 to 9 p.m., it'll be Steven, Christy Shin, and Demon Bitch, and Jessica Maison and Mary Shelley School for Monsters will all be there, selling books, signing, and drinking.
That is awesome.
And Travis,
it's fun.
Travis, I'll see if I could get the Kardashian jet to
if you can get the Kardashian jet to come to Florida, they do to go to Miami. I bet that is a drive for me. But for you,
yeah.
Steven, I'll drive to Miami to get in the jet to come to this event. Yes.
Okay.
If the
I'm going to
Kardashians
do everything I
send their-
can.
And make
I'll do
sure that
everything I
they
can to
kill
make
as
it
much of
happen.
the environment as possible. Like that's what's really important with these private jets.
That's what that's what we Californians do. We kill the environment as much as possible and tell everyone else to just be
Right.
cool with it.
Right.
Because
Make sure you have
we've got to
straw
save
in
it
your
because
water.
we've got to kill it. Right. We need your water. So don't drink. Don't drink.
So
too
don't
much of
use it because we need it. Thank you.
Yeah, don't use it at all. Yeah.
No, I feel that. I feel that. Leonardo DiCaprio will come after your daughters, so stop it.
That's right. If she's over
But yeah,
25, you're good, but otherwise you're
Right. This
Keep-
book looks
keep it locked
fantastic,
up.
man. I'm so excited about it.
Thank
It's
you.
great. And you're pretty fast at putting these out too. Right? You get normally a couple a year.
Yeah.
Will we see the
Yeah.
wrap up of this, or is this 6 issues?
This will be 4 issues.
4? Okay.
And it ends on a bit of a shocking thing. We're gonna do a spin-off with the Luchadors.
Okay.
And it's I the way we do it is kind of like what I'd say the Hellboy model, where we do a series of miniseries and each one stands on its own.
Right.
But you put them all together and there's this overarching arc. So there's this mini and the next mini, and combined with volume 1, that's going to be one giant kind of arc. So
Dude,
it's all coming to a head. It's all going somewhere.
It's all
So,
going somewhere.
yeah.
All right. Well, I have you at 2,847 with 113 backers. Let's see if we can fix that number in just a little
That's
bit.
right.
We'll yell at some people, get you a couple backers. I'm going to try to get everyone a couple of backers. The only one's a little scared of is Max. He's got that children's book, but everybody else, we'll figure it out. I'm sure there's somebody out there at 10 o'clock at night looking for children's books, and we'll find them. But we have someone celebrating an anniversary here. And that is my buddy Tom here. Critter celebrating an anniversary. Is am I mistaken?
Well, it's Critter, it's Big Dog Inc. It's our 14-year company, company-wide anniversary. Yeah. And this is the first time we've had Critter back on Kickstarter in 5 years, because we've been focusing on a lot of our other books. So we finally have the Critterverse back up and running, full speed. This campaign has been unbelievable.
Well, it's insane. Yeah, look at it.
Yeah, we just rolled over 16 when I was talking with Andrew tonight. This is day 6 for us, and we're at this point. So just absolutely crazy. I mean, honestly, this is the number that we're at right now is where I expected the whole campaign to land, and that's because the last time we did a Critter campaign, we did about 8,000, and so I thought, you know what, we're better at this. We'll probably land at around 15, and we did 15 in 5 days. So holy crap, it's been a huge run. But not just, here's the interesting part, and this is the part that I really, really appreciate and like the most. It's not just everybody buying variant covers, because we have the entire series here available in trade paperback, and we have tons and tons of backers that are coming in and grabbing trade paperbacks. And it's not a cheap tier. It's like $100 to get
look,
all of it.
1,700 of it is right here, the complete Critter collection. Look at that, right? $2 a piece.
And that's just the folks that direct pledged. That's not even including the people that added them on. So,
Right.
and when you're buying trade paperbacks, those are legitimately readers because they want to read the book. So that's such a great feeling to have that many people just coming in and being like, look, boom, here's my C note. Give me everything you got. Because they're going to read that book, and that's fantastic. So, Critter's been on hiatus, like I said, for about 5 years, as we did Penny for Your Soul and Oz and Ursa Minor and so on. But the good part is that it gave me a little time to really, really build this volume. This will be volume 6 now for the series, to really build this volume and tell this story in the way that we can maximize all this stuff that we've been working on for the last 13 years to talk about to the buyers, to talk about what is the Critterverse, how does it work, where did it come from, who is this Paradox guy, what's his real sort of desire to be hanging around all these superheroes, and it's going to be a really cool sort of finale for volume 6 that'll lead us right into what we're going to do in volume 7, where we basically have what'll be Critter 2.0 at that point, because we'll have a new sort of status quo for the entire series after we get done with this volume. So it's exciting to finally get to this point where you're just dropping threads and story points for so many years and so many issues, and you can finally start to tie up some of those loose ends, and that's where we're at here.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty impressive, watching this campaign grow. I mean, you're in the early stages, right? You're only at 200 backers right now.
Yeah, this is
16
day
days in.
we're just starting day 7 now. Well, day 7 starts in an hour, 2 hours or so. Yeah. As of midnight, we roll into day 7. So we're in our first week. I mean, it's like I said, this is where I expected to be when we were done in 3 weeks, and we've done this in 1 week. So, next week, of course, is going to be the dead period. We all know how that works, but if we can, keep just a touch of momentum through next week, our final week should be really great.
Yeah, well, let me write you down. You got $16,017, 205 backers.
Yeah.
You're killing this. And one of the things that you said to me in another chat, and maybe I'm misquoting you, so tell me if I'm wrong. One of the things that you've done with this, you've had multiverse for a long time. You're really like have a different spin on multiverse and what it looks like. Mm-hmm. And this is the payoff of what that looks like for you and the purpose of it, which I'm really excited, because most multiverses, unless you're doing a crisis, it's either destroying or growing. Like that's right. Those are your two options with multiverse, right?
Well, I mean, those are always your options, but I think it's sort of the way that you do it, right? Like everything's been done in one way or another, but I think if you can, the key to kind of cool storytelling with this type of stuff is to use the tropes and use the cliches and enjoy what they are, but find your spin on them so that when you go through that journey, particularly when you find the end, that you find just a little nugget of your own to be like, yeah, we played with it the way you expected, but now we're going to throw you a left turn over here. And I think that's what we've got for our multiverse, our Critterverse. It's to my knowledge, there's nothing that I've seen in the various multiverses that I've seen that we're going to deal with it in that way. We have a unique way of dealing with it, and I think it's going to be pretty cool. So I'm really excited to tell the story and get to these points, because we've had so many people along for the ride for so long, and now we get to culminate and then escalate the story into sort of a new phase. Really, when we get through this and we move into volume 7, it's a new phase. It's all new rules, and that'll be fun.
And if you've never read Tom's stuff, Think Fathom and like Danger Girl, stuff like that, he does really well. That kind of storytelling and that kind of feel and vibe to his books with his own unique storytelling ability as well. But you feel those vibes, you'll feel that nostalgic, and then you'll get your own. You'll learn who Tom is as a writer as you've read stuff. I've read more than a few of his stuff. So I definitely recommend it if you haven't checked it out. Just had the clinks back there, and we'll see with that. And then last, I have a project live still for just a short amount of time left. So let's see if we can get that up here on the display. I have Holiday Spirits live, and we just funded today. I knew it was going to be a long trope, by the way, because, it was Christmas time when we launched. We launched in the middle of Christmas time. So we hit our 12,000. We're at 318 backers. Not too shabby. Really good for an anthology in the current market, as they would say. But we are killing it. We have great digital rewards. Look at all these free digital rewards we're going to be giving to you if you back it. You can get all 3 volumes here in the campaign. This is volume 3. It's about 180 pages. It's really good. We've got some great creators working on it. As the people By the Horns, Coachella, Stake, all these are books that you've heard of here if you do a lot of direct market stuff. Sacramone is here. Matt is here doing stuff with me as well. We've got Dawn. We've got Pablo doing some stuff. We got my Coins of Judas artist. All these companies they've worked for. And then we have Cullen Bunn. So if we put Cullen Bunn, this is basically all the places indie that Cullen Bunn has worked, as well as Marvel and DC. So if you just for him and Cullen Bunn. No, never heard of him.
Six Gun, right?
Right?
Six Gun, yeah.
Yeah. So we got Hanu, we've got Mana, we've got all these different stories of it's horror tropes during the holiday season. So if you like a Krampus story, you like all this stuff. These are done by some of the great indie creators in our scene doing a lot of things. I try to get new writers in every time doing some stuff. Look, my wife did a story, which is really good about an office party. She actually added the first boob in this book. So if, nudity is, you weren't expecting nudity, my wife brought it to the party. Dan Brandt did some stuff. He did Swamp Dogs over at Scout. So Mario Kilshella, which was a hit book last year. We got Daniel Calvin, if you know who he is. Danny Quick, Kyron Silver. And then we got my boy from Granite State Punk, Patrick, doing some art for Cullen Bunn. So, I mean, these are some great stuff. This is Canceled, if you're familiar with Canceled. This is actually a canceled story written specifically for this book. So we've got some great stuff, a lot of different rewards. Check it out. I'm going to share it in the comments. But if you haven't checked it out, shame on you. Curse on you and your family. Where hasn't Cullen Bunn worked? That is the question. Here's the thing, man. And this is kind of disappointed me. So Cullen Bunn, when I got him for Cthulhu Invades, like I asked him and I was super excited about it. He was working at Marvel, finishing up his Marvel run. I think he was doing a Venom miniseries. Like I think Donnie was doing the main one, but he was doing a sub one during the King of Black stuff. I think he had one of the spinoff whatever series, Carnage or the cat. I can't think of the cat's name right now, but he had one of them. And I was like, hey, Kellen, will you be willing to work on this? Here's the thing. Here's the budget, all that. And he's like, yeah, absolutely. Little did I know he was about to leave Marvel and work for every fucking indie company out there because he has books with Vault and Oni and all. So I'm going to get Cullen Bunn became he's even working with Orange Cone. He's even slumming it to the Kickstarter people is what it turns out. That's the message. Instead of the, look, I got someone big. It was like, Cullen Bunn's willing to slum it with everybody. Judah says, I think it was doing the Venom tie-ins for War of the Realms. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's doing a whole bunch of stuff. And I know he did a King in Black stuff because he created the cat. I can't think of it, Seeker or whatever the thing is name. But so we've got Cullen Bunn back and doing some stuff. And it's actually short fiction. So we had short fiction with stuff on it. So let me put our number here, see if we can get some backers on that. I am at 212, 214. I know it's not up. And we have 318 backers. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the part where I start yelling at people and begging people and telling people why you need to back these projects. For my gallery here, some of you guys didn't know that this was coming, or you've never been to one of my shows, so you don't know I will be here all fucking night. So you may be upset because you decided to join. Does anyone need to go to bed? So you want to do one more pitch before you go to bed? Because this is your out.
Yeah, I can't stay up all night.
I felt it. I felt it. I saw your face when I was saying that. And you're the only one here who doesn't know what I do. So I get it. So let's go through your stuff one more time, Max. Let people know you got your book up. Let's see what you say. Like I said, it's a little hard to get your stuff, but I'm going to try really hard. I'm going to share it out and see what we can do. But go ahead. Tell us about Hilda one more time.
Okay. Oh. My characters, Hilda and Richie.
Oh, you got a backer. Look at that.
Boxes. Pardon?
You got a backer since last time. You were at $5.97.
Yeah, I saw that.
So?
A pair of cartoon foxes. Hilda's very rich. We're talking Scrooge McDuck rich. She lives with Richie in her mansion in a European micro-monarchy. And in this, their third book, they're building a giant sandwich to feed guests at Hilda's cousin's birthday party. Yeah, they have to go everywhere. They have to go to a baker for giant bread. They have to go to a farmer to get a truckload of vegetables. They have to go to the dairy to get lots and lots of cheese. I have cameos available as rewards. Some of the like that baker there that you see Richie, that Hilda's talking to, that's a cameo. That was someone who backed Hilda and Richie's wizard, and they got that's their character there in this book.
Nice.
I've already had one person take that, and there's still about 3 cameo slots left. That's at
Nice.
the 399 level.
That's great. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for coming on, Max. I'm going to mark you off my list because we got your backer. Because that's what I do. I put you on the list. We mark you off. I'm happy to do that because I was scared. You made me scared, Max, because books don't come on here very often. But I'm happy to see you. I've supported you for a long time. You've been on similar stuff before, and I'm glad to see you back on Kickstarter, brother.
Thank you, Travis.
No problem. You can go to bed, and we'll get you shared out.
Okay. Have a good night, everyone.
Nice to meet you.
Bye bye.
All right. Since everybody else is here for the long haul, let's get the yelling commencing. I think I can get everybody besides myself 2 backers because you can never get fucking money for yourself because it's bullshit. But we will see what we can do. I sent an email out, so that may help. So let's talk to Mr. Watson again and see. When we last left you, our hero, we were at 2,969 backers. Sorry,
2,969 backers. Wow.
Woo! Fucking killing it.
Absolute hero.
$2,969.53 backers. Let's see where Hotshot is today. Of course, I do not have it up, so I have to find it again because I am bad at my job at hosting.
Can we point out how cool that toy, that action figure?
Oh yeah, we're definitely going to talk about that. He didn't talk about it enough. Bring it up.
Oh, he did. That thing that I saw you post that on Facebook. That is badass. That is awesome.
Wow.
Look
cool.
at that.
Now, because we're on camera, Mike, you can hear me, right? You're muted.
Yes, I can hear you.
So it is very important that when my villain that appears gets an action figure, that I get a free one, and you are confirming here live that I get a free. Since I created the character, right? I get a free action figure. I want it publicly known.
You absolutely do.
Okay. All right. So timestamp this, guys. We're gonna push for it. In fact, the minute that issue comes out, it's gonna be hashtag granted action figure. We're gonna start a trend. We're gonna get that going. Only so I can get one action figure. I don't actually care if you guys buy it or it sells. Because I mean, prototypes are like $1,000, right? It's not bad. It's just money, right? How much was the prototype for that? Because I know prototypes cost a lot.
Oh, this Hotshot cost us about $400. We got this 3D. We print these through a 3D printer.
Damn. All right. So I am going to get all the comics guide now that Max is gone because Max made me scared. I love Max, but he made me scared. I'm going to get everyone at least 2 backers. That's what we're going to do. Let's see what we got here. So you were at 53 backers. Let's see if you've got any backers since then. You have gotten 2 backers. So we've got you to where you need to be. But why not push for more, Mike? Why not push for more?
Of course.
So why don't you tell everyone, people who've just joined the show, tell people about Hotshot and why we need to back it.
Well, you need to back this because this is going to be a very visceral story. You're going to get to see a hero who is being challenged by his childhood trauma to work past that, to have to save his mom. And this is going to be a question of how far do you go to rectify a situation that you yourself fulfilled, that you think that you have so much insurmountable guilt for not protecting the most important person in your life, and now you get to rectify that situation. When is enough justice going to be enough justice in this battle? I'm a big fan. Obviously, I'm a big fan of comic books because I make them. But I remember the death of Superman, and there was one thing besides that book being awesome when I was little that stood out to me is that how they laid out the pages as the action picked up with each issue. They did less and less panels until it made it all the way to full page splashes, to double page splashes at the very end of the arc, and I wanted to pay homage to that with this issue. And we start off with double page splashes that cycle all the way down to panels as the action dissipates in the story. Hotshot is a hero that is going through a lot of stuff, and a lot of stuff I feel is relatable to people besides just these, he can fire from his hands and he can fly, he can punch through walls and stuff. But this is just a regular guy who's trying to make the best of it in this adventure. And he's not always going to be able to pull things off. I'm very adamant about him not being able to succeed every single time. Like, we want to be able to see failure because we think that builds character in our characters.
Yeah, it's a great series. If you don't know, I am writing issue 14. I'm super excited about it. It's been written for a while. We're doing layouts. In fact, next Thursday on Chat and Draw, we are creating the villain, correct? That's next Thursday?
Sir. Yes, we are.
We're going to create that villain live for you guys to get you excited about that. Again, this is the action figure that I'm going to get for free with enough hashtags. So it's very important that we get involved in this hashtag trend now to make sure we back it. Look, I had 12 people watching and it just dropped a couple. Like, me getting an action figure really offends people? Like, what's going on? Like, Aaron's like, yes.
Yeah, like he's at it again, this guy.
But
They want,
I'm really
they want
excited.
yelling, not pitching. You gotta
Yelling,
get-
not pitching.
the
Right?
energy level is too low.
Yeah, they want me. I haven't. It's because we made our money. I'm not yelling at people.
Well, yeah, that's
I'm
true.
sorry.
They pledged and they left. Yeah.
Right. So here is the thing. How much money, Michael Watson, because I'm going to spoil something right here.
Oh, shoot.
Pretty soon, I know this because I'm in the back end of this. Hotshot's going to get a new costume at some point. How much money do we got to get you? Is that 10K? Where can we get that? How much do we got to get you to get that costume reveal prior to when it's revealed? I'm not even sharing the issue that it's revealed in, but like, when do we get it?
Oh, we can get that revealed at 4,000.
4,000?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So double where we're at now. You heard it here first. I just put him under the bridges. Granted action figure, which is villain. I'm super excited about possibly ending it.
Two more backers, two more viewers gone. All right, go ahead.
Why do you hate action figures? My wife earlier told me, please be quiet. And I think I'm going to get yelled at tomorrow. And then Hotshot reveal at $4,000. So that's like $1,000 to go, right? Because we're at 3.
Yeah.
So will we get that costume? And I haven't even seen it. I don't even know what it looks like. I may not like it. I may go, oh, that was a bad cool. But because I don't know what it looks like. But I kind of want to see it.
Rescind your pledge.
Rescind your pledge.
Reset your pledge.
I like it. No, it's going to be awesome. It'll be awesome.
He sent to me. He was like, "Can you write that? Hotshot's new costume is like." What do you mean Hotshot has a new costume? Yeah, don't worry about it. That's not important to your script. It's like the fucking A. I need to see what's going on. So he keeps a lot of us in the quiet zone, I guess. It's a good zone. That is the worst writing I've ever done, Tom. I apologize. Writing zone. What the fuck am I trying to say? All right, I'm just gonna mark him off. I'm gonna mark him off the list. We got him here. We got him his goal. We'll try to get him some more. Links in the comments. I apologize. I just want an action figure, guys. That's it. In fact, I don't even really want Tom on the show. I just wanted to get him to hold on to that. Oh, critics. See, Tom's in the action figure too. Tom's in the action figure crew.
It looks just like Travis.
Oh, wow.
It looks just like me. All right, Aaron. As I told you, this is Joe's best work, or at least the best coloring on his work. I had you down for, you had $1,616 with 55 bags. Let us see where you are at. Of course, what I did was I closed your windows too because I'm an idiot and I don't know how to do this thing. It's not like I haven't done this for like 3 years or anything. So, it's just fucking random. All right, let's see. Let's see what's going on. You had 55 backers. Let's see if you got 2 backers from this show. Damn, son, look at you. That's 3 backers.
Yeah, that's more than 2.
Right. And that's more than Mike has. So that's what's really important is letting Mike know his place. Because he was getting cocky. He's got the action figure, and you needed to put him in his place. And I appreciate that.
No
So
action figures here.
I get to mark you off my list, man. But like, tell us about this project for people who weren't here early on.
Yeah, so Follow Knight is it's really a crisis of faith and being story where a Templar knight witnesses something that is being said to be done in the name of God that he just can't get behind. So he takes off and goes AWOL. And for those that don't know, it happened around the same time as feudal Japan was a big thing. So he takes off to feudal Japan, and we catch up with him a few years later, where he's kind of just put that part of his life away as a drunken. Just a drunken dude and gets into a bar fight with a samurai's daughter, and they get broken up by a local warlord, and then they discover that warlord's doing some pretty bad things to the people in the community. So they're going to be an unlikely team up, and also I think that the limited color palette might sell the book, and that freaking cover, which by the way, the cover, I forgot to say that earlier. The cover for this was done by the colorist. She actually drew it and colored it.
And you're only doing one cover, right? So that's interesting. You normally at least do a couple, but I mean, I guess you got
yeah. We had to virgin it because people wanted just the regular one.
Yeah. It's good. It's great. I think this is a great book. I'm really excited about it, and I know that this is very personal to you. You said, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is, something you really like. I got a question for you, and I'm trying to be serious here, but though I want to make a joke of it, you write a lot about alcoholism, and I do too. Is there any reason for that, or it just happens to just something you're writing?
I mean, so I think alcoholism has affected everyone's family at some point.
Okay.
It's never been a particular crux of mine, but I've seen how it's affected. Not even my parents, but like my parents' parents, and like the damage that did to them. And my parents are, in their 70s now, and they still talk about like their upbringing and stuff. And so it's just kind of always been a thing that's talked about. And then I also think it's an interesting struggle to have in your storylines, especially when it's like this time period and stuff.
Yeah, and you got another one.
Yeah,
another one. So you're killing it. I'm marking you off my list.
You can mark me off twice.
No, I'm just marking you off once because I always go back to see if I want to get you guys as much money as possible because I love you guys. I wouldn't do this if I didn't love you guys.
I appreciate you, Travis. By the way, we haven't been on a show together in like 2 years or something.
Right, and it feels bad. Like I when I was making fun of you and your partner, you can't just make fun of one person because then when you're making fun of both of you, you don't know who I don't like. So now.
Yeah, you're why Matt quit. So
it makes sense. Can't come back with that Travis guy. He's gonna bring me up. It's done. I'm just done. I understand. He made the right choice, honestly. You're the one who stuck around. That was just stupid.
That's right. No, guys. Matt really didn't quit because of Travis. Just so everyone's clear, it has nothing to do with Travis.
Regardless of what the emails to me said.
That's right. Don't mess up my PR, man.
In fact, Catalyst is named because of me. I had a catalyst in their organization.
Yeah, you are our catalyst.
And what does uprising mean? Just before I jump off, like, what is the uprising part of
it? Yeah, so that was, I guess it's still going to be our little side. I guess it's an imprint because all the other stuff, is the superhero universe, and I'm not even really messing with the development on that right now. That's going to be pushed away for a long time. I am still writing superhero stuff, but that's for other people. But as far as this stuff, it was just an imprint name, and I thought Uprising sounded cool as crap. So
nice.
It's that simple.
All right. Hey, who needs an imprint? I think Mike, don't you have like 12 imprints in FSK?
14.
All right, Andrew. You're at $122 in 8-backers. You are at 138 in 9-backers. So I still owe you a backer, and I think this book looks cool as shit. So I will. Are you okay with some advice here?
Yeah.
So the best advice for Kickstarter that people will tell you: don't use a logo for your image.
Right.
So change that out to a graphic in the page or the cover. I think that cover would be way better. Logos, nobody is interested in a logo. I think it's a great logo. The logo looks fucking fantastic, but it doesn't encourage people to list if you're looking at the whole Kickstarter page.
Hey, let me just say right now, I totally disagree with Travis.
Okay, let's go.
100% disagree with Travis. But there is a
Go on.
balance to it, right? You don't want to just have your logo. Like, you still need to have some sort of imagery and so on. But a lot of times I'll see images that get just posted up there and I'm like, what the hell is that? And oftentimes there's just like dead space in the image for whatever reason. And I'm like, put a logo right there, dude. Tell me something. Like, let me ask you this. When's the last time you ever saw Pepsi not post their logo on a commercial, right? Every time you see something that is branding themselves in some way, the logo is always there. You want the perfect example? It's who we always fall back to, right? It's Brian Pulido. Brian Pulido is the all father of freaking all of this stuff. And he will always have Coffin Comics. He will always have Lady Death or whatever, book he's doing. I think that I think having the title of the book, don't overdo it. Don't put a shitload of stuff on it if you can avoid it. Again, unless it's sort of the way that you do branding, which he kind of does that a little bit. But you can simplify it. Put a nice image, put a nice logo. If it's a number 1, put a number 1 on it, something like that. So it indicates to people, hey, this is a starting point, whatever. Oftentimes people are moving so fast through these things, especially on their phones, that, if it's just an image and here's a dude with wings or whatever, it's like, well, okay, I don't know what that is. But if you've got a catchy thing like you do with your logo and your phrasing, that alone can get somebody to stop and be like, oh, what does that mean? Like, what? Let me tell you what that's cool. So there are definitely schools of thought on this. I am on the completely opposite side of Travis.
Well, I don't think we're on the complete opposite side. I think we both agree that some image needs to be there, not just a logo. So
100%. Yeah, but as far as the logo, I tell people all the time, put your damn logo on the thing.
Yeah.
Pretend you're Pepsi and brand yourself.
And
I will say, just as a backer, like if I had seen that image, that logo right there, it's a catchy logo, but it screams novel with just the words like that, rather than an image going with it. And I know it's based on a novel, so that might even, in a way, it's sort of like, oh, well, I mean, it's kind of the roots of this thing, but you want people to also know this is a comic and attract the comic Kickstarter crowd. And I do think just the logo itself like that looks like a novel title, where the title and the words are front and center and the image is almost abstract and not the point. So that would be my advice is, get some comic images in there too.
From a graphic designer standpoint, I would totally take the logo that's at the top there, right there, and then just slap it on top of one of the images or of one of those images, use the ladies and put it with it. Yeah, stuff like that. Like you kind of got the stuff that.
Yeah, like put that dude right there.
Yeah, that dude right there.
Crop it into that rectangle and put a little thing. Yeah, I mean, that's going to attract people in an instant because that's a great piece of art. And then, when they're looking at it, they get a sense of your brand because you get your title. If you want to put your company logo on it, you can do that too. That's the direction I try and lean people into.
Yeah, I think that the other thing, Andrew, is you have your add-ons here up the top. I don't think that's a good idea. I mean, it's okay to do it, but it's the first thing people see. So you're basically saying that I feel like you're saying to your audience, hey, this stuff is cooler than the stuff that you're going to see later. Like, you don't want to do that. That's what you're trying to say. So
yeah, that makes sense. I just put
just put it at the bottom, or if you want to keep it at the top, you can. Like new add-ons, just make it smaller and then put bigger versions at the bottom. Make it like a 3 stack of 3 images. But anyways, talk about it, man. Like, I think you did a great pitch earlier. We need to get you one more backer to get you to 10. I think this is still fundable because of your art and the stuff. We just got to figure it out.
I didn't really talk about what the book was about.
Okay.
I just talked about the process and what my goal was with the company.
Yeah.
So this is a dark fantasy series. If you go up a little bit, you see the little blurb that Summer gives us. This is fallen angel, tortured humans thrown together. They have a whirlwind of fate and plots and forces of evil and all that stuff. So it's a fun book. Issue 1 is little background setup. If we're all old enough to remember Dogma, this is similar in that God is a woman named Jehovah. And we see here that the devil, Lucian, creates sin through more than just the apple here.
Okay.
And then him and his buddies are punished and sent to Earth. And so after these little bonus pages setting up the universe, then we see this guy down here looking in the mirror, Eric, and he's doing some reflecting on like how he got here. And then Lucian calls him to do a job, and that's Lucian there. And he gets sent off to Earth to man a post. And that's where we kind of end, is he needs to figure out, well, what is this guy going to have me do now? And how awful is it going to be to do that?
Nice. No, I think these pages look great, man. I think it's a cool looking book. It's really, really cool. And you, so you're not credited here. Did you give a credit for the writer, or is she story by and you're the script?
I'm like executive producer. So
okay, so you give her script credit too. So she's the writer. Okay.
Yeah, I adapted the script
Okay.
from the novel.
Well, yeah, I think that normally that what you do is you give her story by and then written by, then you go script by you, and then she gets the story by.
Yep.
Nice, but it looks great, man. Let's see if we can get you some more backers. I did post it in the link. But, yeah, I think if you want to take our advice or leave it, but that's the advice that I give you, and that Tom and I came to a middle ground. I will tell you that the reason why I say only image is that's what Kickstarter tells you, but that doesn't mean that Tom's wrong. Like, just because Kickstarter tells you that doesn't mean that Tom.
Tom's doing such a bad job on Kickstarter.
Yeah, he's doing such a bad job at running Kickstarters that you shouldn't listen to Kickstarter.
I agree. I never understood why Kickstarter. I mean, I get it because it's a little thing, but I mean, I've had it with both the logo and without, but I do agree that, especially for some books where it's not as clear what the project is, that it can be helpful.
Well, I think that Kickstarter says that because their assumption is that everybody's on their phone, and it's a small image anyway.
Right.
So if you're if you're loaded with words, that small image isn't going to work for you. But if it's just sort of your logo, pop, right next to your main character's shoulder or whatever, you'll be fine. And don't discount people sitting on their computer at home. I mean, that's a real thing. You can go look at your advanced analytics, and right now mine is split almost right down the middle, with people finding me on their phone and finding me on the laptop. So laptop is just as active, at least in my case. So
yeah, and we see it. These are all fine.
Exactly.
But even this one didn't even bother to make it fit.
Yeah,
but they're doing okay.
Size it right.
You know what it says. Come on.
But yeah, I think it depends on what you're going, to make it work.
Yeah, it's not a matter of right or wrong or yes or no, but it's just something to consider. Particularly, I think if you're new and they don't know what it is, like if I were to come out and just start branding all my stuff like Penny for Your Soul without any branding on it, a lot of people would understand what it is because it's existed for 14 years. But if you're new and you've got something fresh off the boat, you want to tell them as much as you can about it in as quick a time period as you can.
Yeah. Absolutely. Dude, size it, please, Pagan Valley. Come on, what are you doing? And why do you get Project We Love if you can't size your image? I'm just saying. And Bolt as well.
Uh-huh.
All right. I'm not just going to yell at people here. I'm just.
Listen, I've
Yeah.
gotten Project We Love one time in 8 years, and and they picked Ursa Minor for it. I don't even know why. It's like it's the most useless thing ever. It's fun
really
to
is.
get, but it is pointless.
Yeah,
And-
yeah.
But
it's
and you
used-
still have to post about it like it really means something. But we all know.
Well,
'Cause I
back
do.
in the day, 3 years ago, like it would get you a decent amount of backers, but now it gets you barely one. Like back in the
I
day,
feel like
it
there
was-
weren't as many that got it a few years ago, and now it feels
Correct,
like
yeah,
at least
yeah.
half of all.
Look at our
campaigns
group
get it, and
chat.
it's like,
Our group
Yeah.
chat has like a bunch of people in there.
All right,
exactly.
but we're gonna
Yeah,
come
that
back
says
to
a
you,
lot
Andrew,
right
and
there.
see what we can do. Get you that extra backer, because I'm not leaving until we get you that backer. So we're gonna make it happen. All right, what do we got here?
And it's late where Travis is.
It is. It's 11:30.
Same.
11:30.
So you were at 54. I asked everyone in the group to do it, and they did not.
Look,
I did.
You
I
know,
did. I did.
You know. You want to know what my problem is? Is I've been this whole time trying to get your page up on my phone, and for whatever reason, my phone doesn't like you.
Well, I got it to 56, but I think we could do 4 for like a thing that doesn't like. Come on, like
See
you
the
don't
button.
have to-
They may all already. They may beat my followers already, and that's always.
I
the
mean, I
problem.
know I was already your follower, but
Right.
we got 2, which I can mark you off my list, but I would really like to get you to 60 if we can. So if you
This
can click
is
it,
a-
I see Mike looking at his phone. Mike, you didn't click it. I fucking know you. I'm looking at you. Look at him. Look at it. Look at that guilty guy right there. Guilt in his face. He's
You
wearing
want
a
me to pull up my
villain
screen?
t-shirt. He's wearing a villain t-shirt. You know he's the villain. See, look, hero. Raphael's a hero. He's rude but cool. Like,
Raphael's a
come on.
punk.
This man is
Punk.
committed. He's committed to villainy.
Committed to villainy. That's until Granite, the future Granite villain. Like Granite t-shirts are going to be everywhere, and action figures, and like. By the way, the Granite action figure is coming out pretty soon, and I want to make sure you guys all bag it. That'll be with Fortune. It'll sell better than the Void. So if you're interested, the character isn't even designed yet, but I promise you, it's the best design you've ever seen in your entire life. It's
And
gonna be
we're all getting T-shirts too, right?
How many
That's what-
pouches does he have? Does he have pouches? Can you put gear into the pouches?
Of course, he's gonna whatever you need. Tom says he needs pouches.
The cargo pants, right?
Yeah, cargo
Yeah,
shorts.
we still
Cargo
Yeah.
shorts.
on that design
100%.
next week.
Yeah.
I was thinking more of a John Cena leather pant, like jean shorts, but
We can all dream, can't we?
but we're at 56 over here with this book. This book has a legacy that Scott McCloud has an opinion on it. Here's my problem with this book, Dave, and why I can't take it seriously. You're saying that it's super important and people have read it from the 80s. And I've read a lot of fucking comics book, Dave. I am an idiot savant on comics, and I have never heard of this book. So
I know it.
maybe it's a California thing. Like there's books that we have.
I
No?
read it on the East Coast. I found it on the East Coast long before I moved to California.
Oh, pop that bubble.
I never heard of it either before he told me.
I had
And-
never heard of it, and it seems just sacrilegious enough that I would have been into.
Right.
Yeah.
It looks great.
It did not. I mean, I don't think it was. I don't think it had a great distribution.
Hmm.
I found it the entire series like bundled up. And let me tell you, I was under 18. The comic shop plainly hadn't read it. They did not know what they were selling me. And they just had it all kind of like in a bargain bin somewhere. And I picked it up and I'm like, a whole series? Fuck yeah. And I read the entire thing in a 16-hour family car ride when we were like traveling to go see relatives. And it sucked me right in. I didn't know what it was. I'd never heard of it at the time. And I just kind of assumed that other people had read it, it had gotten around, blah, blah, blah. And as the years ticked by, I realized I was the only asshole somehow, that like there just wasn't anyone else out there. So I don't know exactly what happened with the distribution of this, or it's marketing or what happened, but it is a lost comic series. Like, it came and went, and a few people I've found, like Scott McCloud, that was like, oh yeah, this was an amazing series, I remember this thing, but not many. So I don't know what happened there, but I love it. I will stand by it to the day I die.
I think comics are weird that way, right? Like the book Faust. If you're in the East Coast, you know what Faust is. But like if you're in the West Coast, you don't. Like they didn't know what Faust was. Silverline Comics is more of a Southern thing. So if you're in like Florida, you know about Silverline.
Interesting.
And then I can't think of the name of it right now.
Grips.
Arrow Comics. Like if you're in the Midwest, in the Michigan area, like you know who Arrow Comics is. Because I like question. I was like, I remember having this question. You say these are indie comics, but I read a lot of indie comics, and I don't know what the hell you're talking about. And then you find that like there's regions for these things, right? You've got all the hippie. I can't think of the name of it. What's the hippie? The hippie guy kind of does like tracks and like hippie stuff over. And he does like a lot of pop comics. Like he was extremely popular.
Silver Sprocket Comics. Or
yeah,
something like that?
I think that's what you're talking about. Yeah. So it's weird finding these little stuff. Did you have an area where you dominate, Tom? Because you're pre-Kickstarter a little bit, right?
Oh yeah, we're way pre-Kickstarter.
Yeah.
We started kind of when Kickstarter started. No one knew what it was, like basically like 2010. But it's weird because when I started, I was in California, and when we started, when we got into Diamond and we started like trying to tell people that like we're a real thing, we were driving around to all these comic shops all over Southern California, and it was like brutal to get these guys to even like, you're in Diamond, like, yeah, look, right here, like right there, we're in Diamond. They're like, oh, all right, because the age old thing was, well, if you're not in Diamond, I can't buy your book. Well, bastard, I'm right there. It's what do you want me to do? I had one guy who was in Vegas one time, and we went in, and I was like, hey, I'd love to just show you the books. We have copies of the books in my car. Can I bring you in some books? He's like, no. I'd rather you just send me some PDFs. And I'm like, I can show you the book. Like it's literally 50 feet from here. I can bring it inside. You can see the paper that we use. No, this is not how the way we do things, man. Here's an email. Send me some. And I'm just like, God damn it. So, when we moved, I did that for a couple of years, and then we moved to the Midwest, to Chicago. And when we got to Chicago, it was like the doors flew open. Like the Midwest was just like all about comics, man. And it didn't matter if you were Marvel, DC, Dark Horse, whatever. They were like, we want what you're doing. And so Chicago and Indiana and Michigan and Missouri and Ohio and all of that, it was open arms. That's kind of our home away from home is sort of the Midwest zone, and all the Comic Cons, well, not all of them, but a good portion of the Comic Cons in there, invite us out every year, and they treat us really great. So it's a fantastic, community in that Midwest zone, especially if you can kind of get your foot in the door and let people kind of, know who you are. It's really cool with us coming back, because we were on our own for 4 years, and then we moved over and we were published by Aspen Comics for 3 years. And a lot of the people that were following us on it when we were on our own, they just dispersed because they thought we were gone, because we were now under the Aspen banner. Even though we were still publishing under the Big Dog name, it was all under Aspen now in the previews. So we lost a lot of people. They were just like, well, I guess they didn't make it. And then we picked up a lot of people through Aspen. And then when we left Aspen and started doing everything through Kickstarter, people started finding us again. I thought you were dead or whatever. Right? You've been gone. I'm like, no, dude, we've been in previews with Aspen for the last 3 years. And so now with Antarctic Press picking our stuff up and they're reprinting the Critter series, now I'm getting people on Facebook all the time like, oh my God, AP's picking up Critter. I remember that from 10 years ago. So it's like, good Lord. I think the point of all of this is that I don't think that people use social media the way we think they do. At least in the grand scheme, right? Because there was no point in all of that time that I stopped posting on Facebook, that I stopped my emails, that I stopped any of that. But they all just sort of were like, whoop, I guess it's gone because it's not in the comic book store. So it's a really tricky thing to maintain consistency with a fan base if you're if you're either hopping from place to place like we did, or if you are not consistent with, you know, issue 1 to issue 2 to issue 3, like people will just wander off, man, and you might not be able to bring them back. So
Right.
consistency is key, I think, is sort of the point here.
I mean, even just think about how much your social media feed changes if that one person you're not interacting with
Mhm.
for a couple of weeks, and it's suddenly you don't even realize they're gone for a
Yeah.
little while, and all of a sudden
Yeah.
you're like, why haven't I heard from so and so? And you go to their page, they've been posting all this fucking time,
Yeah.
and you're the one who hasn't seen them,
Yeah.
because you stopped interacting. So it's a thing.
It's tough. It's tough. So with AP picking up the book, it's like out of the blue, these people in the woodworks are always like, "Oh my god, this is back! Like, where did it go? Like, what?" I'm just like, "Dude, we've been here, but glad you found us again."
I think the other thing to note, which is the thing that any rookie comic creator needs to learn, and even Mike knows this very well. It's the power of the reprint, right? The reselling the same thing over and over
Mhm.
again, and like because that's when you make your money, and that's where your stuff. Like this Critter, this is, you know, the third company that's been with, so it's back to issue 1 and getting that, and then you had the trade. Like I think that people don't realize that. Even Todd McFarlane just talked about it in an interview. He's like, you need 50 issues of a book, and it's not because you need 50 of the book that shows you you're relevant and that people should have bought you. The other thing is that means you can print that thousands of different ways, black and white, omnibus, blah, 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 blah. The power of that matters, and the staying power in the audience's eyes matters. And I don't think people think like that. I think they think much like me when I started. I was like, I want as many miniseries as possible. Now then reflecting, you know, oh, if I would have just stuck to one series and really got that out, I could have still done the other stuff. But if I would have kept that up, I think I would have had a better position in the comic stuff. And I look at people like Rob Matari, who's doing Nightwolf, like how he's killing it because he just stuck with the same book, you know? So it's interesting.
Yeah, that was a kind of an issue that we faced when we were coming out so long ago. We were coming out consistently. Like we had the first issue, and then we're like, yeah, in 2 months we're dropping the next issue, and then we came out with the second issue, and we're at a comic convention like, yeah, in 2 more months we're dropping the third issue, and they were like, this is 22 pages. I was like, yeah, that's what average comic books are, 22 pages. Like, this is full color. Yeah, I like my books in color. like, dude, you're an indie and you're making a superhero book, 22 pages, full color, and you're coming out on time. I was like, yeah, I don't have anything else to do, man. Like, and then we missed our first deadline, like on issue 4, and things happened and pushed things back, and then we tried to come back, and then we relaunched, and that didn't work, and like so we lost people along the way or whatnot. So I absolutely understand what you're talking about people fading off because you're not being consistent. And we started putting out these books, the last few years, and having a good track record of delivering and stuff, but our titles weren't coming out consistently. We were dropping books consistently, but Hot Shot would come out, and Travis has called me on this, which is why we're pushing for 4 issues this year. But Hot Shot would come out, and then it'd be a whole year and no more Hot Shot, and it'd be like, well, where's the rest of Hot Shot? I was like, yeah, well, Hot Shot came out, but I also dropped Vigilance, Heroes International, Emerald Quest, Cypher, Scribble War. Like, yeah, we dropped like 8 books this year, man. And they're like, oh, that's good, but I wanted Hot Shot.
Right.
Like, all right, and that's why we changed our formula to we're promoting 1 book at a time. So we drop a book every other month. And all those books happen to be in the Hot Shot universe. So you're getting a piece of the story from Hot Shot, but from different characters and their experiences in that world. And that's been working for us to hold our readers over until the next issue comes out. But like I said, I had to talk with Travis, and he called me on it, and I'm absolutely being selfish and putting out 4 issues of Hot Shot this year, so we can move those numbers up there.
Yeah, for us, we found, because I did something similar, and I found that if you can find a way to focus, you're going to grow in a hurry. So I have like 11 different titles that I have, and so when I started doing Kickstarters, we kind of were bouncing, like we do this one and we do this one and we do this one and this one. But I'd found that people were like, well, wait a minute, where's this one? And I'm like, well, we'll come back to it. I figured we could cycle through, right? But
Yeah.
when we started to focus and we were like, okay, this year we're doing 4 issues of Oz. This year we're doing 4 issues of Ursa Minor. This year we're doing 4 issues of Critter. All of a sudden people were like, oh, there's 4 issues coming. Boom, 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 boom. Every one of them were up, instead of the attrition rate going down, like in the retail side, we grew every one of these up from issue 1 to issue 4. But we still did other stuff along the way. We still did a couple of little tiny things, but we made sure that all 4 issues that we had planned to do for that one title came out. Critter 19, 20, 21, 22, whatever it is. And so I think that's a key piece of advice is hyper focus on one thing. Make sure that you have a plan for one thing in that year, and then you can sprinkle some other stuff in there. But make sure that those 4, like if you're going to do it quarterly, make sure that those 4 land without any questions. You can kind of finish that story arc in a year. Boom, you're done.
Mhm.
We're on to something else, and that'll make the fans really happy.
Yeah, I think going back to the stuff, and I put it in private chat because I don't want to put anybody on blast. I put the name in the private chat. It's more for just Michael Watson, but other people. There's a guy who I know. He literally reprints the same fucking issue. He's at like probably 12 or 14 times, and though I mock it, it works. He sells the same. He's at conventions with me every year, selling the same goddamn issue of fucking book, and it's stressful to me because I'm like, why am I working my ass when this guy just puts a new fucking cover on it and like look, it's a new book, like, and sells it to people who I know bought it the year before because I've been across them enough times. It's annoying, but it works, and I think that the Tom's method. I'm gonna try to get into Tom's method. Where like this is going to be this year. We're focusing on this series. We're going to do other series in between. We'll still do our many Kickstarters, but this is this year. You're going to get your story. Like if I'm going, working towards the trade per se, you're going to get that trades issue in 1 year, single issues, and then we'll do something else. I think that's a smarter way to do it. And let's be honest, for someone like me who's been doing this a little bit, and Tom and actually everyone at this table for the most part has done stuff for a little bit. Finding that we could do that, we have a lack of focus or whatever the case would be, and we hire people, professionals like using Aaron for example. I know if Joe had to, he could do several issues a year. He's very capable because he does it through various different stuff. It's just getting that guy and go, hey, I have you this year, So this is the League of Comic Geeks. Why do you put it? I think it's a great site. I just, I think we get busy. I also think that I think it's mostly we get busy. We're busy doing.
I'll tell you why I'm not there. There's a real specific reason.
Oh,
Okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
I've never heard of it.
There you go.
This is the first time I've heard of it as well. I just messaged them in the chat like, "Where's the link?"
Is
So
it a
that's where all the
digital site
.hero
or-
readers are.
Converted down to.
But we need to check on the Monster Matador. We need to see if he is slaying the numbers that I presented to him before. So earlier today, he was at 2,847 with 113 backers. We need to check to see whether or not he has got any money or whether or not I'm just a fucking asshole and I don't help anybody. And I'm wasting everyone's goddamn time.
Got no clout, Travis.
And I've got no clout.
Can I tell you something before you go? I was going out to dinner with my wife and kids, and they were running late, and I almost missed being on the show. And I was like, I can't miss Travis's show. So of all the things I do, Travis's is the one where we always get a backer. I always get someone new. I always get someone different, I can't miss this. So I was like rushing them at dinner, and they're like, yeah, you and your Kickstarter and whatever. But I just want you to know that.
You're like, eat your mac and cheese.
Exactly. It's like, hurry up. Eat it. Let's go. Let's go.
BM Dead Nerd, dang, really? Well, at some point, maybe we could do a little chat and, talk about it. Okay. Andrew, I see your message. Absolutely. All right. So, Monster Matador, we were at 113. Let's see if Steven's no longer be my friend anymore. No, Stephen
Oh,
is still my
fine,
friend.
Travis.
He did not waste his family's time forcing them to eat. It is a good. We've got him to 150, and damn, he is so close.
So close. This has been. I mean, talking about. I have all these other books I want to do, but I keep building momentum with Monster Matador,
Right?
and I mean this is our seventh campaign already.
Right.
So there is something about that consistency where the reputation of the book starts to grow and it starts to become almost like a fixture on Kickstarter.
Yeah, I think this is a great book. It's like I said, it's one of my favorite. I think you would even like this, Tom. You love kaijus, so this may be right up your alley.
Might be. Yeah.
So
Get a logo
Let's
on
get
that
this-
picture. Get a logo on that.
I know.
writing logos or not.
I
logos.
don't. I honestly I don't disagree, but every time because I always run it past Kickstarter, the people over there, they're always like, take the logo off.
I
The
mean,
first few
I've
campaigns
I've
I
seen.
did, they were
I
like,
could-
take the logo off.
Yeah, screw them. They don't know what they're talking about. Because here's what I'll tell you. I've seen that image before as I've scrolled
Mhm.
through, and I've looked at it, and I was
Yeah.
like, I don't know what it is. But Monster Matador is a great fucking name, and I think the name alone would be. I would have stopped at Monster Matador. I
Right.
didn't stop for. I don't know what that picture is.
Yeah, I'm gonna redo the image.
Well, that's your point on branding. Like
Mhm.
that's the whole
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
What more do you need to know? She has a red shirt that has boobs. He has also a red shirt, and he pokes his breast out like he has boobs, but he does not have boobs because she is a woman. He is a male, Tom.
I mean, you're not wrong.
He's in
You're
shape.
not
He's got
wrong.
boobs.
You're not wrong.
I mean, look at him arching his back. He's like, I can poke my chest out more than her.
He's
Like, I
got.
love
It's
the-
not even the chest.
that's
it's-
a very
it's a
real-
pelvic.
Yeah, that's a very real.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's got a
Bruce
sword
Campbell
down where it
pose.
matters.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
it's-
he's
doing
it's
the
a
chin.
pelvic thrust.
doing the
There you go.
chin. Yeah.
Look at it. Look at it. Her look, he's like look, I have a fucking fencing sword and I can fucking own you. But yes, this is one of my favorite books in the market. I love it. I love that it's a consistent art style. It's a consistent storytelling. I mean, Stephen, tell us why we need to back this real quick.
It's awesome. It's a matador that fights kaiju. I whittled down my pitch to basically matador versus kaiju.
All right, what do you need to
at
know?
conventions? What else do you need to know? Literally, people will stop and go, "Huh?" But it's a post-apocalyptic kaiju throwdown about a matador who fights kaiju to make a better world for his daughter. The biggest reaction I get after people read the book is that, oh, it actually is about a matador who fights kaiju.
Yeah, it's like my book,
so yeah,
Princesses versus Zombies. It's like it's about princesses versus zombies.
Yeah, because people are like, well, does he have an anime sword? I'm like, no, he has his sword and his cape, right? Because with a bullfighter, it's all about precision. It's all about hitting that that one spot and taking out the bull. So you just bring it to a larger scale. And this new arc is a lot of fun. He's joined by monster fighting luchadors. He's going to journey across Mexico. There's going to be chupacabras. There's going to be lots and lots of action.
Oh, Catalyst has got some comments for Black Nerd. Make sure you read that, brother, if you're reading it. Oh, he's
Read the
commenting
comic
too.
cave.
All right, cool. All right.
So do you submit? I guess you submit there. They don't.
Yeah, it looks like you submit your stuff.
I like every big company, they're on there, right? And really do have a large base, and I use them because other people leave ratings on the new books that are out. But I have yet to find how to get your small press stuff submitted to them. I do feel like there's a bit of I don't want to use terms that are controversial, but gatekeeping. But I don't mean political. I just mean we're too small for them to care about.
Let's use the word learning curve.
Okay,
There you go.
gatekeeping.
I like that. I like that, Travis. That's good.
But Andrew has let us know that he has changed up the image. I still think you should use a color one, but I think this looks way better. And you got your 10 backers, brother.
I did.
Nice.
Thank you.
Oh, look at that! Wow,
It
that
does look
looks
way
great.
better. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I said I'd share issues 2 cover.
Okay.
I had 10 backers. You want to see that?
Is it an update? Where is it?
I'd have to present my.
Okay, go ahead and present. Present away, good sir. Present.
Every time people say that, I'm waiting for them to clear their throat.
Where is my? There it is.
And this is number 2 cover. I can't make it much bigger, unfortunately, but it looks pretty good. Look at that.
Yeah.
This is Paquan did this for me. This is cover A, issue 2.
That's actually how I was in college, how I stood in living rooms as well. I didn't have angel wings, but that's pretty much how I entered rooms.
King of the world over here.
That's what everyone thinks they look like when they're drunk. Like, just looking baller.
But we got Andrew off the list. So
Thank you.
all I got to do is make sure Tom likes me, and I'm good. So let's figure that out. Andrew, I'm going to post your thing, but good night, man. Thanks for coming out.
Good night. Thanks.
He's got a meeting in the morning, guys. He
Got
doesn't
early
know.
appointment, guys, but appreciate it. Had a lot of fun hanging out with you.
Have a good one, bro. Well done.
Success.
Be-
I
I
converted
did
one
that.
person to putting logos in their thing. Yes. My
Another
influence spreads across Kickstarter.
Dude, I put it for years, and then they convinced me not, and now I go back and forth. It
But what
depends.
was the reason that they said?
Their
Make
reason is it's not necessary because you have the name of it underneath on all the stuff. That's their logic, is you don't need to put it
That's dumb logic.
twice. But
Because
that's-
again, and I only say that because branding, right? Your logo is a brand, just like Pepsi and McDonald's and Burger King, and you want to brand yourself as much as you possibly can. So there's a redundancy. I agree, there is a redundancy, but brand your freaking stuff, man. Yeah, 100%.
And people don't read the text, like the plain
Yeah.
text above or
For
below,
sure.
as quickly and readily as they read that colorful,
Yeah.
well-designed logo.
And one of the reasons they told me is because you want to have an image that's so interesting that you don't want to give them a bunch of information. Your image should pique their interest to say, what is that? And click on it.
It's a fair thought process. I think it's wildly flawed, but at the same time, I can tell you that Pat Shand doesn't usually put logos on his stuff, and he does really well with it. So, but I think also Pat himself is a brand at that point. So again, I think it kind of depends on who you are, how long you've been doing it, how many, he's got freaking thousands of people following him, so they just kind of know.
Right.
But the question I would have would be, what is his sort of new backer ratio? Like how many new dudes is he pulling in off of his, miscellaneous clicks? And I don't know the answer to that, but he's killing it. So, again, there's no right or wrong answer, but for me, particularly if you're starting, I think you need to be branding yourself.
I will say Steven's current image is definitely lots of peaks and peaked interest in that image. So it's doing well for
Right.
that reason.
You convinced me. I went over. I've crossed over to the logo branded side.
Oh man, you're swaying them. This is not your purpose here, Tom. You're just supposed to get your book and get on your stuff. But Tom is not gonna like me, man. Like before I got here, I was just like, Tom, can you be on my show? And Tom's like, Travis, you're a fucking nobody. And I was like, I know, but I think I'm an influencer. I've done really well by people. And Tom's like, well, let's see it, man. Like, what
You
do
don't even have orange cone on your
Right.
images, like
Where's the
nothing.
branding?
There's
Right.
nothing there.
How many backers can you get me? And we were at 1607 and 207, and like I'm gonna tell you, man, like I fucked up. And I know he was last, and I know our stuff is dropped, but like there's only one backer there, and I'm gonna be 100% honest. That's me, the first one. So like we are fucked here, guys. Like, show me some love if you're watching this. It's a book that's been around a fucking while. You like chick books, like you fucking back them all the time. I see your fucking backs, motherfucker. Here, you go like, I see your fucking backs, motherfuckers. I know what you like. Don't pretend all fancy that you don't like the chicky books. I know.
Someone's buying them.
I know. I know you pretend to like me and you're cool and hip because you like Grand State Punk, but I fucking know you. I fucking know your fucking feed. So let's see if we can get a little more love for our boy here.
If you like superheroes, if you like cat girls, if you like science fiction, if you like cat girls, if you like time travel, if you like cat girls, you're going to be fine here. Something in here is going to appeal to you. And honestly, if you're digital, we got digital stuff for you if you're digital people. Otherwise, you can get in for $12 for the basic book. And also all of our prices, that includes your shipping. So there's no other price point there. So that $25, it's just $25, includes your shipping. So there's no extra charges, no hidden fees. We're not the airlines trying to get you for your luggage at the same time, So yeah, every price that you see is the price for what you're paying, and that's it. Yeah.
And what I love about
actually scroll up just a little bit to that book that you're kind of half off. So this is the other thing. This we're doing this primarily for Critter 22, the new issue, but we also have Volume 5 collected for the first time. So we're actually doing sort of a super Critter, campaign here. So that's the new cover by CB Zane with the villains on the cover there. So we have the trade paperback that's new. We have the Critter 22 that's new. And again, if you're new to the series, you can get all of the trade paperbacks if you want, all 5 of them, or you can just pick and choose the ones that you want, or you can just grab the quick catch up and try a couple of issues and see if it floats your boat. Like right there, there's the last 2 issues. Super easy right there. $20 gets you 2 issues. And again, that includes your shipping. So, yeah.
And I got to tell you, man, like, here's where Tom has got me. And this is impressive because I don't fucking fall for this trick. He's very good at marketing his fucking page. And I remember backing like Urza Minor, and I was like, super excited. I'm going to start with Tom on issue 1. I'm ready to go all the way. I get it. It's like issue 5. And I was like, there is no fucking way that I would back at issue 5. And sure the fuck I did. I don't know if it was 5, but like I was just like, what the fuck? Because he's really good at displaying his Kickstarter to make it look like this is new, fresh, like exciting. Like, and kudos to you, because I have never ever made that mistake ever, except for on your campaign. And I've backed thousands, as you guys know.
Yeah, and then also we've got the Big Dog Inc. universe. So if you want to try out the other stuff, Scheherazade, Ursa Minor, Kaiju Epic, you can get all of these as add-ons to try out the rest of what we do at Big Dog Inc. as well, including the new previews for the Shark book and the Gladiator book. I'm excited about Sands of Scale is next year's book, right? Yes, yeah, we'll be getting the Sand of Scales Shark book from the water. That's going to be our first OGN. That's going to be released as a full-size, like 120 page book. Versus doing it issue by issue. So that'll be an interesting experiment because we've never done that before.
And you love Jaws. So like, you're a friend of Tom, like you kind of want to buy it out of curiosity. Like, is he doing just a homage is he trying to do it better? Did he watch Jaws as a kid and be like, this needs a 12 sequel?
That's exactly what it is. It is what could be Jaws 5. Right. That is what it is. And Universal does not care. So I have to get this story out of my head. It has to get out of my freaking brain. So what I did is I went back in and I made all the appropriate changes. So Amity Island is now Harmony Island, and so on and so on and so on. But anybody who knows Jaws will be able to understand where this story came from. It's just this thought process of like, if Amity was real and they had to deal with these shark attacks, and we're now 50 years removed from the original shark attack, and 30 years from the third, what would this island look like? How would they have managed to figure out how to stay? Why would anyone go there if people keep getting eaten? So they found a way to sort of keep themselves alive as the tourist community that they are, and that's kind of how the story kicks off. So I think it's gonna be a lot of fun.
I mean, I have saw the sequel to Jaws, the closer Jaws. It was the Jaws ride at Universal. It's very good. There's two
Oh, yeah.
versions. There's one during the day and one during the night. The night one's way better because you don't see the robot shark.
Yeah,
But-
the Jaws ride at Florida is gone now. You have to go to
Yeah, it
Japan to ride Jaws now.
It is. Yeah, it's gone. It's very sad.
Yeah, they retired them. They have them hanging up on the dock. Sad.
Yeah, I got there just in time to be able to do it. We ran it twice back to back. I was like, well, I'm never going to get on this again. So, I'm riding it twice, and then a few years later it was gone. So, oh well.
Have you ever done it at night, Tom?
No, we just ran it back to back, sort of
It-
midday.
It is a better ride at night because they have like spotlights and
I
all
could
sorts
see
of
that.
stuff. You can see
I
it's
could see
great.
that. Yeah,
It's
thanks.
way- 'cause you
Thanks
don't-
for that, Travis. Now that's a big help.
So I know it's midnight. I'm gonna hang out with Tom until I get him more backers. But I know some of you guys, it's midnight. You guys gotta go to bed if you're on the East Coast. Watson's like, hey, I have to go to bed. I've got to design a action figure for Granite tomorrow morning. So he said he's gotta go. So that's fine. Do you want to give a shout out one more time, brother?
Hey, I appreciate it very much. If everybody can go out there, back it, or even just share it. Shares are free and they are just as much appreciated at the fskgo.com for Hotshot 12. All the issues of Hotshot are available 0 through 12, all full color fantasy superhero books. It's connected to our bigger universe. Hotshot may not be the thing for you, but I'm trying this new thing where we have a pledge that's only $3 and there's nothing on it. So you can just go add whatever add-ons you want on there. We do have the entire Freestyle Comics universe library that is available for add-on and purchase onto this Kickstarter as well. If you like swag, we got jackets, we got hats, action figures, all types of cool stuff for the true geek at heart.
Nice. Good night, brother.
All right. See y'all. Thank you so much, y'all. It was nice hanging out with all y'all.
Nice to meet you.
Later.
Yeah,
If you
we
wanna
kind of
find
skimmed
his-
over it, but you can get the toys on the campaign as well if you like the
That's
figures.
beautiful.
Yeah.
That's
I
awesome.
We
can
got
make you
Critter
laugh.
toys on the campaign.
Tom, I made you live so you
Oh.
can show it.
Bloop. There we go. There
Look
she
at it.
is.
Look at her. She's so pretty.
Yeah, it comes in the box. You get the whole big box.
Oh,
like
look at
that.
that.
It's like a real thing, man. It's crazy.
And again, if you want to click on the Hot Shots one that was before, you click on the Critter one and you back Critter, and don't worry about it. You'll be fine. I'm
You'll be
just
fine.
kidding.
You'll be fine.
You'll be fine.
You'll be
You'll be
just fine.
Mike Watson won't know. It'll be fine. Does anybody else have to go? I know it's
I
late.
should.
All
I
right,
should.
Aaron, you want to say goodnight?
Good night, Travis.
Thanks. Not just for me.
Oh, sorry. Thank you, everybody. Also, I don't think I've talked to anybody that's in here. So nice to meet everybody digitally, except for Travis. Freaking Travis, I know you. I don't know. He was one of the first guests on our
We put up
podcast
with
a
it.
long time ago, years ago. Look at that. It's crazy.
I liked your co-partner better. I mean, that's fine. Yeah, continue.
I just remember the time you took your shirt off and tried to fight him on the live stream. So
Because he was mouthy.
I know he gets mouthy. Anyway, yeah. Look, I appreciate everybody that's back. This has been a story I've wanted to do for a long time. It's just been sitting in the back burner, and I'm glad I finally get to do something in this realm. It is different for me, but it seems like the things that I write that aren't superheroes are things that people like better. So I'll probably just keep doing that. But yeah, check out Follow Night if you guys get a chance, and catalystcomicstudio.com. I think I crashed the website earlier today, so it probably doesn't even work right now. But who cares? Go to the Kickstarter. That's the more important page.
Oh,
I
look,
think
he's
that's-
got logo in this picture. Yes.
Freaking right, I do. In
Yes.
2 languages. Dang it. Yeah, I appreciate it. Again, nice to meet everybody. Thanks for having me on, Travis.
Good night, Aaron. Have a good one. All right. Anybody else?
Travis, don't you have a Magneto helmet?
I do. You want to see it?
Do you not wear it? You should wear it.
I should wear it everywhere.
all the
but
time.
Let me go get it. Yeah.
I was hoping
Why do
that
you, Steven's like, why do you
wearing
take it off?
tonight.
I don't understand.
Yeah.
You
No,
dress
the
for the
wife-
job you want, not the job you have.
Exactly.
The wife has purchased it. It's
Oh, look at that.
it's good. It even comes like you can't tell in the camera, but like there's actually detail inside the helmet, which is kind of cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, you can't see it. Maybe a little bit. See, you can kind of see it, make it out just a little bit. Here, let me.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I can
There's
make
like
it-
some texture in there.
yeah, there's like cool texture, which I like. I like that.
That's
like
cool.
it's like,
Oh yeah, yeah.
Right.
So, but
It doesn't just slip around on your head the whole time.
I don't. Well, it actually comes with things to make it so I can fit my head. Like it comes with the things to put it. I don't know. I kind of want to wear it when I want to wear it, and you know,
Little crooked.
I just love it so much. Like you don't even know. I love it so much.
That's cool.
One
That was
day you'll
really-
be completely gray enough that you can truly be like Ian McKellen in the helmet
Right.
and whatnot. So you got
No, you got to do
aspirations.
the age of Apocalypse one with the beard, right? Doesn't he? Have,
Right.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, is it his hair or does he have a beard? I don't remember. He has like a long ponytail somewhere coming.
Well,
out.
he
He's coming out of
grows
somewhere.
long hair at some point. Yeah,
Is it long hair?
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Well, him and Joseph. Joseph has long hair too when he's Joseph.
Jo-
It's very
yeah, yeah.
confusing. You got to be careful when you're dealing with this. All right, so let's try to get you some backers here, Tom. I apologize for letting you down. I told you I was a big deal, and you fucking saw right through me, man. Like I just.
Why do you think I showed up late? I was like, this
Why
doesn't matter.
I feel that. I feel that.
No, man, I'm not even worried about it. I just, I've been on your various shows a few times, and I love just talking comics and stuff. Like I loved how we got to talk about the logos and just trying to put some things in people's heads, and that's what I like to do on these shows is just kind of get outside the box. People don't want to just be lectured to and be like, hey, buy my comic. Like let's give them some information that they can potentially use if they're creators out there that some advice and whatever. Experiences that we've had. I think that's awesome.
I have shows like that, but that's not what this fucking show is.
No,
This
I
show is
understand. No, I understand.
Give me money. This show is give me money, motherfucker. And all you guys are out there, and none of you motherfuckers are giving me money, and you're embarrassing me in front of my friend Tom. And it's really sad, guys. Like I'm just doing my
Now
best.
they're just doing it. Now they're just doing it on purpose. Tom's gonna blow up tomorrow on Kickstarter.
Look, I know
From
you guys.
everybody's just like, I just don't want to give Travis the satisfaction.
Right. He's actually cutting pledges. He's like refunding pledges every time it goes up. It's like, fuck, I want to embarrass
Not
Travis.
now, not now. The only show where your pledge numbers will go down.
Fall
Right.
down.
I get it. Like some of you guys know I feud with Larry. Larry's not going to get mad if you back Tom, like just because I'm on the show. Like it'll be all right. It'll be all right.
No.
But comics are really exciting right now. Did you see that Kickstarter's back up to normal numbers?
Oh
Tom?
no, it's still very low. It's
Well,
only
it's still low, but it's getting there. And I know
Well, yeah.
next week.
this is its sort of normal, climb period, but its norm is about anywhere between 200 to 250 is its norm. Right now, I looked at it sometime today; it was like 137. So it's still in a really low period, but that's normal for January.
Right.
And I've had people that are like, "You can't launch in January." No, I'm like, bullshit. I'm going to launch in January every single year, and I'm going to show you why. And ta-da! For everybody that doesn't want to launch in January, thank you. Please stay away. Go into February and March if you want. I want January. I will always want January.
Oh, I think I'm going to always put something up in December. I think Holiday Spirits really taught me that December is not bad. I don't think you should put a new product up in December, but if you have an existing product with a fan base, I think you're fine. I think you're
don't
fine.
disagree. Yeah, that kind of surprised me. There was a lot of stuff that was in like the end of November and through December, and it was doing really well. Now, again, like you just said, it was all stuff that has branding. People know what it is. They can drive their customers to it. But they were all doing wildly well, and I was very surprised. So, yeah, I think that I think it's anywhere, anytime that you want, go ahead and try it. But
I do agree with the new projects in December, though, because people are trying to be frugal in December outside of all the other costs that they have for like holidays and travel and blah, blah, blah. And so if it's something they can't say no to, like that brand, that title, that thing, they're like, well, yeah, I'm going to get the next issue of that. You might be doing good. But there were some titles that were they did struggle in December. That even surprised me that they struggled in December, and they weren't big name. They were like new products, but they were holiday themed. They were really, really good. They had all the right elements, and they made it in the ultimate end, but like skin of their teeth. And I was like, yeah, so I think there is still a little bit of a December thing, depending.
Yeah, I was always like anti-November and December, but then the last 2 years I've been launching campaigns on November 18th because that's Princess Day, and we launch a book called Princesses versus Zombies on Princess Day, and we run it for like 2 weeks, just to the end of November, so through Thanksgiving and so on. Right. And I was kind of like, I don't know if this is going to work, man. Like people are on Thanksgiving vacation, and I don't know if they're going to be into this, but we've done really well with those little short campaigns in that period of time. So, yeah, I try and see what happens, but yeah, I think I agree with you that if it's something just totally fresh and brand new out of the gate, you're better off in the, spring, summertime to kind of get that attention.
Yeah. Holiday Spirits.
That's what I'm betting on.
I'll be honest, Holiday Spirits, I thought there was a possibility this one would fail because it's more money than we normally need. The last one was like 250 backers, we're now at 319. Like it was, I didn't think it was a dying series per se, because I think it's based on the characters. And I think, Kickstarter was weird at the time last year when we launched it. But I thought there was a possibility that it wouldn't fund, and I've been pleasantly surprised. And it's been no stress because it's been getting $200 to $250 a day. So it's been growing every day. And imagine if I had the extra willpower without Christmas and stuff to really, really push it. Christmas and Christmas through New Year's, you're all busy. And then I am a web designer. So everyone wants new for 2024. They want new websites, new marketing plans, blah, 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 to start January right. So it's very busy for me. But this has kind of been really, really good and go. So I think I'm going to launch every year in December. But again, like we've been talking about, it's got to be something that has a fan base, because I think it's people like, oh, I need something to buy on Kickstarter anyways. They're used to spending on Kickstarter. And if you give no options, they just won't spend.
Yeah. You know what it is too? And, you said, you've got like a bunch more backers. This Monster Matador campaign has started, it's probably been my strongest start in terms of backers and whatnot. And a lot of new backers. A lot of my old backers tend to back on the back half, but we have a lot of new backers. And what's nice about that is, like, if you're launching like me or you, whatever, multiple books throughout the year, right. If you launch in a slow period like January, where people like to avoid, and you're getting more new people, it gives you kind of a little bit of a cushion and a little bit of a, if you're launching during heavy periods where these are good periods to get new backers to come onto your book, because you're launching in like October, November, when there's like everybody's launching, like you're going to be struggling for like the new backers. Right. That's really where, if you're, when you're doing multiple Kickstarters a year, it's the new backers that, that keep it going for you.
Well, I think this year's starting out strong. I think that from what I've seen and people in December, like, they've been pretty happy with the results. I think we're back to normal now. That being said, let me give this caveat. A lot of the sexy books are not there right now, and I think they're coming. I think they're just in the wing. So I think things are feeling like it's normal, but I think that sexy is having, wave two. But I do believe, I've said this, and maybe I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, Tom. I think we're going to see about 7 months of more sexy, and then it's going to die out, because I think Pat's really got the thing on it. And then I think a lot of people are copying Pat, because you can see pages that look exactly like Pat did it, even though he didn't do it, because they're copying the image. Mm-hmm. I think they're going to kind of cut themselves apart by there's going to be too many of them. And like the ones who've been around for a while, Pat Shin and some of these other ones are going to stick around. They're going to take the brunt of the money. And these smaller ones are not going to make as much. And there is a loss leader, because those sexy covers would be expensive. You don't just do AI,
Yeah, it all comes back to branding again, and your character and so on. Like people know that you can get tits on online for free, right? I mean, like they're free. So
where is that again? Now?
it's tits.com, I think is what it is.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. So if you're gonna have value in your nudity books, and there's, of course, it's a different thing. It's art. People like art. Nude art is not a new thing. But I think ultimately in the comic book world, when you're talking about that, if people don't care about your character, I don't know if they're going to care that the character's naked. Like, so you still, if you're making a NSFW book, you still have to have it to where people care about what's happening to the characters. Otherwise, what's the difference between your blonde nude character and that blonde nude character? It's just, it's the same. So there's a toss up.
Yeah.
So at that point, it becomes creator. Like, I know that creator. I like that creator. He's going to get my money. I'm not going to give it to this new guy who's just coming in with the same thing. So yeah, there's definitely a possibility where people are still going to be running at it. But if they don't have something sort of unique, their own little hook, then it's just the same. And eventually that'll just kind of fall off a cliff, and we'll be left with the guys that have been doing it, like Pat, that have been doing it for a while. Or plus Pat, the thing with Pat is that he does his stuff isn't just nude sex stuff. It's like he does very sex positive stuff. Like his storytelling is very sex positive versus just, hey, we're banging.
Sexy.
Yeah. So there's a difference there as well. And that's why Pat's stuff it's sort of like Stephen Sejic with Sunstone, right? It's a very sex positive thing. And there's a huge audience for that kind of stuff. There's a huge audience for all of that in general. But if you can actually tell legitimate stories with characters that people connect to within that world, holy crap, the sky's the limit. So everybody else is basically just doing porn. And, preferences change and things are like, well, I've seen enough of this with the bunny girl. Now I'm going to go over here with the cat girl. And now I'm going to go over here with the, whatever. So there's always going to be shifting and moving unless you can really, again, brand yourself to become like sort of like Pat. Yeah.
Well, you had mentioned Polito earlier too, and like there's a brand that like has always been a big part of the sexiness, both of the men and the women, the characters on there. Like he's always sold that. It's been a big part of his brand, and people have eaten it up, are still eating it up. Still to this day, as long as it's him and his characters and his worlds. So there'll always be a place for it. There'll always be certain titles that survive. Yeah.
But and again, with Polito, he's got Lady Death, which is a 25, almost 30-year-old character. So branding, it's him, it's his character, it's his story, it's blah 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 blah, on and on and on. Right. So sometimes longevity is the key. If you have something that is sort of, I don't want to say ordinary, but it doesn't quite have the hook. But if you can outlast the other people that you're racing with and be the last one standing, that works too. But that's playing a really long game in a lot of cases. So, I would always suggest that, you try and have something either in your book, in your story, in your design, or in your marketing elements that has some sort of a hook to be like, hey, we're not just like all the other boob books or whatever.
Right. And by the way, Travis, Judah had a question here.
Yeah. I was just about to bring that up. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, cool. I'd be interested in everyone's take on that.
Have you ever done a Kickstarter and also done a go for the same book after? Does that work? So I've done it, and I did okay. I think I raised an extra like $2,000 or $3,000. I did okay. Wasn't my Kickstarter number, by the way, was 40,000. This is on Cthulhu Invades, and I've done it on Broke Down. I made it like I think $500-$600. Not a big deal. But right now, Indiegogo has really bad algorithms, so it doesn't have the same merit that it used to have. Indiegogo had its own thing, and then right now there's a not to get into Comicscape politics, there's a war going on with Air July. Blah, blah. There's all sorts of shit. Like right now, I don't think that's a smart move, but I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts.
Well, and even equally important is the algorithm problems and the search functions and all of that is a mess. No. It just doesn't have traffic. Like it does not have active traffic like Kickstarter does. It has traffic for like the CG guys because that's where all those guys are. So those guys kind of float in and see what EVS and those guys are doing, but they don't give a damn about us. They're only there for those guys. So the problem is that the traffic, just the general, hey, I'm going to go to Indiegogo and see what's there today. But that doesn't happen. But it happens gigantically over on Kickstarter. There's just a community of what's there now. So I won't tell you not to do it, but I think that it's time return on investment. You know, how much time does it take you to do it? Are you going to make $300 or $400? I mean, okay, I guess that's fine, but I won't do it. It's not even a question to me, because the setups are so different too. So if it was like the same setup, I'd be like picture, copy, paste, but sizes are different. Everything's kind of different. And I'm like, I just don't have time for it.
Right. And has this changed? Because back many, many years ago, people would do things on Kickstarter and then set up something on Indiegogo to be like kind of a storefront post campaign where you could just buy the book outright.
Yeah.
And I think it's because you couldn't do that on Kickstarter. But has that changed since then? Like, you can do that on Kickstarter now?
No.
No, you can't.
But
Most people
There's
use BackerKit.
yeah, there's a thing called BackerKit,
BackerKit.
which does your
Yeah.
surveys and all of that.
Right.
And so when
Right.
you do BackerKit, you can open a store up on the back end
Gotcha.
for two things. One, you can make it so that your existing backers can all buy more stuff. Hey, we know you paid for your Kickstarter, you're good to go. But if you want to add more stuff, here's all the stuff you can add. But you can also literally open it as a store to the public as well and say, hey, did you miss the campaign?
Right.
Come get stuff.
Right.
And that's sort of what Indiegogo does, is they have that in-demand feature.
Right.
And
Right.
you
And I
can,
used to see that all the time, but
Yeah.
not so much anymore. Not from Kickstarter
Yeah.
over to Indiegogo anyway.
Yeah, I did it once also, and it just seemed like you're saying, the algorithm, but it's also kind of like, I don't even know where to do social media to it. Like I know how to hit Kickstarter people,
No.
and nowadays Indiegogo, it seems you just have to go straight into the Comicsgate thing, which
that's it. Yeah.
no one wants to touch, but that's the only way to get into that algorithm or whatever. So it's just, I think a lot of people, you could always set it up and just leave it there and whatever, but it's really
Actually, you can't, because if you don't get a backer
they changed it. You're right.
for like
They
a month
changed
and a
it.
half, they'll actually cut you off. However,
Yeah,
there
the-
is this really cool thing. I was just on Indiegogo the other day for a project, and they have this cool thing that I hope Kickstarter does. So before their pre-launch page, imagine this, Tom. You have a Critter pre-launch page. You have a certain amount of fans. They can get like a coupon for your campaign. So they can early pledge. I'm going to donate $25 now. And you start with that, and they get like a coupon code to put in at the end. That is amazing.
What does the
Such a
coupon
great
do?
idea.
That's smart.
It gives them like $25. Like, it's like a $25 gift card type of, like, on your pre-launch to get that money early. So when you launch, you're launching bigger because you already have that. And then Indiegogo, of course, has the feature that I don't think Kickstarter is ever going to change, but they got that like hidden pledges, where you can do it to a certain amount of people, which is, I think, kind of cool. Kickstarter, however, one of the things that Kickstarter likes to do is likes to be transparent. So anything hidden behind, they didn't want to do add-ons, and the only reason why they didn't want to do add-ons is because it wasn't transparent. It's not because they didn't want to do add-ons. It's they really don't want. They don't like it when us creators go to TrackerKit, Kick Tracker, and go, this guy put $1,000 in his campaign. Let me tell you why. Like, there was one backer today, and it jumped this amount. They really like that transparency to be able to tell that, and it's harder when you have these secret pledges, right? But yeah, Indiegogo is doing stuff. It's just until they fix their algorithm problem, and because I don't believe. There was a thing, I think it's been about a year, where they claim Shadowban. Shadowban doesn't make any sense to me. That's their people. Like, why would they stop all this? I think they fucked up their algorithms and they don't know how to fix it. Or to fix it would mean taking down the site. They don't want to do that, because they do make enough with, because, if you were a new creator and you don't know anything about any of our dramas or any of the stuff, and you look at Indiegogo and you Kickstarter, and you think they're the same because nobody's told you different. Indiegogo looks better, right? Oh, I got a flex goal. Like, I do, if I don't raise the money, I can still get some, so I can pay it. Like, it looks better on paper. It's just anybody who's actually doing this knows that they're not in the same league. It's McDonald's and Arby's, right? Like, sure, both serve you food, but one is everywhere in the whole world. Arby's is barely staying open and probably will close down and reopen 3 years after it closes at a different location.
Kickstarters for champions. We don't
Right.
need, we
There
don't
you
need
go.
flex goals.
Right.
Yeah,
There
you
is
know-
something to that, though, I think, to have that. Because a lot of people, when they're starting off, you make the mistake of thinking you don't need the amount you actually need. And then you're kind of up shit creek after that. And
Right.
it's like, no, go for the amount you actually need and make that your
Yeah,
minimum.
but
And
you
if
know,
you don't make
but-
that, you don't owe anyone anything, because they didn't,
Yeah.
you didn't collect
Yeah.
their money. So, yeah.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I think there are positives to both systems, but I think one of the challenges with Kickstarter, you keep expanding campaigns, then there's the number of campaigns it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger,
Mhm. Right.
Yeah, it makes it
that was-
makes it trickier to do a general search, right? That's
Yeah,
that's for
exactly,
sure.
yeah.
I mean, it becomes cluttered when you get 300 campaigns up there, but
Yeah.
at the same time, I always compare that to just the comic book store. You go to a comic book store,
Right.
and it's just fucking racks of books.
I'll take
right?
that, Janny. I'll take that.
So I haven't seen anything to tell me that the clutter hurts outside of the new people, right? If you're a newbie,
Right.
you could get absorbed into like a lot of stuff. And that's why I always try and tell people, like, before you're going on Kickstarter, you need to be kind of building some sort of following for yourself somewhere. You need to have a page for your book. You need to be posting art. You need to be in groups that are talking about this stuff. If you can get on a podcast just to show some preview pages or whatever, anything you can do to give yourself some minimalistic following that they know what you're doing, so that when you can say, hey, January 3rd, we're going to push go. And then that even if it's like 40 people are like ready for it, you might get 20 of them to be like, ding, there you go. And you can kind of get a start. But for those that have been doing it for a while, the clutter means nothing, because we all command our audiences at this point. We're all like, here's our email with the 2,000 people.
Right.
Every time we launch, it announces it to all of our previous backers. Like,
Right.
we're okay for the most part. Now it might limit our new backers, like our brand new people that find us. That might be an algorithm that might slow down a little bit, but we will ultimately kind of find our plateau and start to build on it slowly by slowly. Again, it's the outlast everybody else. It's unfortunately it is a race to some degree, and anyone that's starting now is starting way behind us. All I can say to them is take your time, make sure you have something that looks good and professional, and start to show it around and build an audience on social media before you go trying to get $5,000 on Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, sorry. And just to reiterate, like what Dave's doing, this is your first campaign.
Mhm.
Dave's been doing exactly what you're saying. The thing that always breaks my heart when I see on Kickstarter, you see this great looking campaign and it's going nowhere, and you click on it and you can tell, like, they have back 0 campaigns on Kickstarter.
right.
It's just like, here's my project, and you're just like, you really, Kickstarter is a place you really have to get involved in. You really have to kind of become, at least make the effort to become part of that community.
Well, and the more I see creators that are, even if they've had some successful campaigns, the ones that struggle the most are the ones I never see on the Discords or the Facebook groups, or they're not sharing other campaigns in their updates. They're not like that cross promotion isn't there, which is a big part of the organic way you'll build and find new backers are other people's backers who are already into comics on Kickstarter. You're not trying to find randos elsewhere on the internet to somehow come to Kickstarter. You're like, no, this is the natural habitat. Find them here. And hopefully those first couple campaigns, you're not looking for that much anyway. So you can get your start and then slowly build, just as Tom was saying. That slow build will happen if you can outlast and if you can keep going. So
One of the
and you
things I
don't get
wanna
invited
say-
to this show.
That's how you get invited to this, right? Well, one of the things that I want to say about, in fact, this one, I invited a couple people, Max and them were not like in my original invite list. Even Dave wasn't in my inbox because he didn't have something live. Like there's so many people. It's starting to get to that point where I'm going to privately invite people because there's just so many. I can't just broadly like, hey, come, because I can fill these slots very fast. And I want to help everybody, but having the same people every week, have diminishing returns because you're hitting my audience. My audience, once I see your book, you got to move on to the next thing. It's okay. Like move on to other shows, do other things. But what I want to say about Indiegogo and versus Kickstarter that I think is the other thing that people don't want to talk about is Indiegogo has kind of a built-in scam. Like so they have this, we funded, but until we release the book, you can keep backing it, right? You can keep this storefront.
Oh yeah.
And there's a lot of creators over there who will take years. And I'm not like just picking on EVS. Like there's some of their lower level creators do this as well. And they just use it as a bank. And sometimes they get in a situation where it's growing little bit by little organically. So they've spent all the fucking money and they can't print it. They don't have the money to print it because they kept seeing it come in, and then it's over time it shrinks. You know why? Because you only have a small limited audience. So yeah. And they, I love it when they're bragging, like they'll talk about like Tom's campaign, like I made 1,600. You made 1,600 over 3 years. Tom made it in 7 days. We're not the same. Stop saying we're the same. But they'll throw their numbers at you sometimes on Indiegogo, and you got to do the research. And you're like, no, that's 3 years of you running that campaign. If I had 3 years, I could make that as well. It's not the same. We're not talking the same. We're not talking apples and oranges here. And I think that people need to do that. And I think right now there's a whole civil war over in that part where they're kind of addressing that, going like, hey, maybe that's kind of shitty. Yeah. But I think that you fall into that. And I think a new creator can really get themselves hurt because of that situation, because everyone who's a new creator, you overspend, you didn't spend enough. And that gives you an out. And if you have that easy out, it's better to just, grab it out of your bank account and fucking figure it out. Like then going, all right, if I just push this second campaign enough, I'm gonna be fine. It's kind of ridiculous, and I don't think it's good for comics.
No.
Yeah, 100%. It's weird to me how I find people that like are actively choosing Indiegogo on purpose. Like, I'm not going to use Kickstarter for whatever reason, whatever they've heard, blah, blah, blah. Somebody said, I'm going to go to Indiegogo. Everything will be fine. And I'm like, yeah, that's not going to work. I'm telling you right now, that is not going to work, my friend. Not with what you have, and especially if they're going in like, oh, look, I got this Bad Girl book. I'm like, you are in the wrong place. The Bad Girl crowd is over on Kickstarter. You need to be.
Well, it's interesting. I talked to a creator just not too long, a couple months back, and they had a book on Indiegogo, and they came on my show, and one of my first questions was, okay, why Indiegogo? Like, what was the thinking there? And it was an 80-page graphic novel, and they had apparently done research, and graphic novels did better on Indiegogo than they did on Kickstarter, which I was like, huh. And I don't know if it's because all the Comicsgate people are doing graphic novels. It's like I wasn't sure where those numbers, but when they would kind of review all the success stories on Indiegogo, they were like, these seem to all be graphic novels, and Kickstarter tends to do single issues and floppies better, was their takeaway somehow. And that's why they chose Indiegogo, which was curious, but that as one anecdotal reason someone chose it, and they struggled on Indiegogo anyway, which was that I kind of nudged them, and I was like, no, get back on Kickstarter. I think it's just, especially if you're a first time creator, this is like, you don't have an audience, you're not bringing them to Indiegogo with you, then you really have to have that discoverability factor, which as far as I can tell, just doesn't exist on Indiegogo.
Doesn't exist anywhere. That's why all of these other crowdfunding sites are just, they're there.
Right.
Fund My Comic, Crowdfunder, whatever these things are. Zoop.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, they're okay, but I still have yet to see anyone that's, doing gangbusters over there. I mean,
Yeah.
No.
All right, well, let's before I go to bed for the night, because Tom did get his numbers. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but I'm enjoying this discussion, so I don't want to just quickly get off. Zoop just announced, and I want to see how you guys feel about it, because I have an opinion, and I'll share it after you guys share. Zoop just did an announcement. They are going to crowdfund to be an owner of their company. So you
Yeah,
can invest in
so
Zoop.
here's what that tells me. They're
you
about to
explain-
not
I'm
exist
s-
anymore. They're about
I'm
to not
sorry.
exist
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah. Can you explain?
So
Yeah,
they don't own the
I
company.
haven't
The
read of
investors
that.
own the company. Is that how it currently
Okay.
exists?
Is
I
that-
think so. Let's let me hold on. Let me
It's
find the
like
article.
selling stock to put
No,
money
I
into
know a
the
lot
company.
of people are doing that. Yeah. I mean,
Or like a buyback of your company. Yeah. It's
okay. That's
like
what I figured,
employees
okay.
making an offer to buy a struggling
Right.
company, kind of a thing. Yeah.
Right.
Let me see if I can find the article. I know I put it in my
You know,
Discord.
that's too bad. Of all the other crowdfunding platforms, I actually like Zoop. I like their layout. And I like Eric, who's
They're easy to
in
like.
charge over there.
I agree.
They
with
are.
that.
They
yeah.
really are. But they just don't bring. It's just can't fundraise a book on there. You know, if you're. They
They
what I
need to have
understand, they
like whole
started
marketing teams that like work
Yeah,
for them.
yeah,
Like that's
yeah.
where the money
Yeah.
should have gone. Is like we're
Yeah.
going to bring all these services,
Yeah.
but it really is just another platform that
Yep.
you post something on. And then, I mean, one of the things that killed me about Zoop when I first started backing on there, the books were fine. Like everything's been delivered or is soon to be delivered, but the updates, I was so used to Kickstarter updates and how often
Yeah.
they came and how much communication you had with the creators. And Zoop was just like a black hole. You funded something, you forgot about it before it ended, and then they're like
Yep.
success, and you're like, oh shit, that was going on for how many okay, and then it was
Yeah.
done, and then you wouldn't hear from them for 6 months, more, a year, and then they're like, this is almost ready, it's at the printers, and you'd forgotten it ever existed then, and
Yeah.
like they just didn't even have like a communication thing set up. It's
Mhm.
such a strange platform in the sense of where where they struggle, which seems so. Wouldn't you just copy Kickstarter in those few things? Like I don't
Right.
understand why they wouldn't. They're such keystone elements of crowdfunding, but anyway, but they are very nice people, they seem.
So yeah,
No, I mean, yeah, they really are.
let's read this article and then we can discuss a little bit
Wow.
more. So it says, Zoop, thank you for supporting Zoop in the past 2.5 years. We're planning something very exciting and want you to be part of it. We're going to be running our very own crowdfunding campaign, but this one will be a little bit different than you're used to, as we are not raising money for a creative product. Rather, you're going directly to you or valued supporters to raise a round of investment for Zoop. That's right. You can invest in becoming an owner in Zoop through our upcoming equity crowdfunding campaign.
Right.
With the help of the Climate Crowdfunding and Geek Collective community that we provide vital resources for, we can do something special together and truly make Zoop a user-owned platform. We keep Zoop ours, and you get to be part of that, and you become an investor of your own piece of Zoop. We'll be launching soon and urge you to sign up now, blah, blah, blah.
Okay, so they're not raising investments so they can buy Zoop. That's good. This is just a new round of equity funding, but it's micro. I forget the term for it, but this is the thing where it's micro. Yeah.
Here's
So
the thing. Here's the thing I don't like about these things, and a lot of companies have done it. There's a few entertainment companies that have done it.
Mm-hmm.
It's other the guys that you, right, who are putting in actually own a part of the company. Like you have equity, you know.
It's not
like
even a co-op though. This micro funding thing. Just to respond to Joey, that's not quite that. Right. A co-op would be better. A co-op is much more where the employees actually own a piece. We're not going to be employees of Zoop. We're just going to have shares that we've invested.
But what I mean is, it's kind of like people get the impression like you're buying shares. It's
right.
You know,
it's not even that.
You have
really.
some kind of equity, but it's
right.
worthless. You're not going to be making.
Right.
You know, you're basically.
You're basically investing for them to have money to spend.
It shifts it shifts the risk onto the end user, right? Who's already putting money into the platform.
Right.
Yeah, you're not going to buy into Zoop and then get a percentage of sales or
exactly
any of that kind of stuff.
Right.
Exactly. You know, yeah.
Right.
So it's
Well,
That's where I kind of.
It's like the people that buy shares of the Green Bay Packers. They think they own part of the Green Bay. You don't own shit. You get a piece of paper that says, "Hey, thanks for giving us some money,"
Right,
and
right.
that's it. You know.
Right. It's fundraising in the truly classic meaning of the
Although
term.
I would love to see. Wait a minute. I didn't get my book. Who do I complain to? Damn it! I own this company.
Right.
well, but can you imagine? Like, imagine Critter right now. Let's say Facebook did this, Kickstarter did this. Like, it's Holiday Spirits, it's Critter, it's Monster Matador, and Kickstarter. Please give money. Like, what the fuck are we doing here?
Yeah, it's yeah.
I think
Yeah.
you know what? I could be wrong about this, but I think Kickstarter did do this not too long ago. I think they did a round of this.
Really?
I have a phantom memory of receiving those emails that they were open to
I think they were
users
open
of
to
the
investors,
platform.
but I don't think it was through the Kickstarter platform. This implies that they're going to use the Kickstarter.
But they weren't-
Oh, the Kickstarter
Yeah.
platform. I think you're right about that. You're right.
Yeah,
I think they did the
did-
micro
Right.
equity
And that-
thing.
And I
for
think that
users.
that's fine, but I think using your purpose, right?
Right. Right.
It's
That
like,
it is almost, it's kind of meta in that regard.
Right,
I
it's-
give them that.
it's super weird, and like Tom said, it implies, and maybe they're not, but I agree with Tom. You're falling apart. You need money quick. Like,
Mhm.
and
They
it's
can't
so
raise it up
bad.
they can't raise it through the proper corporate
Right.
way, like angel investing or another round of proper investing. Like, the reason you come for micro investors is because you cannot get big money people to give it to you anymore. Like,
Right.
they're not going to raise another round that way. Yeah.
And there's ways to do this without doing that. You could go to the top 5 books. Hey, if we, charge no fees, can you bring your stuff to our platform, or 3% fees or whatever, and you get some of these bigger guys to try it out, for one of your stuff. There's things that you can do. The problem is most of the time they will try it out, but then for Zoop, it's a real. If you've been doing Kickstarter for a long time, Zoop is very scary, right? Because I don't know if you know this, Tom. Have you ever gone to a Zoop interview?
I've heard people talk about it, and I understand how it.
Yeah.
works differently.
The whole, they're like, well, we'll take care of everything. We'll fulfill it. We'll do your updates. We'll build the campaign. We're gonna us. That makes us, who have our hand in it, every aspect of it, go, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's
You're
going to
do
be
what?
a no. It's going to be a no.
Like, even if you can give me the best deal in the world, like, me not being able to touch it does not make me feel safe.
I don't even hire somebody that sits next to me at a table to do any of this stuff. Like,
Right.
why would I just be like, sure, take
Yeah,
everything?
Right. I guess I was always under the impression that was like, that was the offer, but not that you couldn't do it
I
yourself.
know
That is
there
interesting.
are levels to it that you can,
Yeah, I
you can
think you
be
can
like
send
all
all
in
yourself.
or whatever, but it's
Yeah.
still even at the lower level, it's not quite as connectivity as Kickstarter is.
Right.
Joey said Seems Sus at Co-op is would have been better.
Yeah, I mean, microfinancing, like I said, it's sus in the sense that nobody who gives the money gets anything out of it, and it's because they can't raise financing the way they probably did their first round or second round or however they got started. And it's because they're not bringing in the money that they had projected in the first place, and so they don't have a good enough argument to raise another round through those channels. Which is too bad.
Well, they
If
also, I mean, they run a very limited amount of campaigns at a time. So
Yeah.
it's I can't imagine that they either have to let open the floodgates and
Scale. They have to scale.
and
So, but is
scale,
that on
or-
purpose they don't, or is it because they don't have
It is
people
on
to use
purpose.
it?
They
It is on
say
purpose. No, it is
so.
on purpose. That's what
Right.
they say, is that it's on
Yeah.
purpose.
Okay.
It's just they've been saying that for a long time. And I think that's where, like, it's been years now, and it's like, okay, but you do have to do more campaigns in this, or they are just like, look, these campaigns make exactly the amount of money we need. We're not ready to scale yet. And that would be fine. But if they need to raise more financing, that's obviously not the case. And so that's where the, how much are they hurting? Or is this just, we know we can't grow without more financing? That's why we've always held off. Now we're ready. but we've never made enough money to go to big investors, so this is our only option. And that's not too sus, but again, no one who give them money if you really want to support them. In a way, it makes sense they're doing it as a crowdfunding campaign, because that's exactly what they're for. Is you give money just to support something, not because you expect to make your money back or percentages on top of the money you're giving them. You expect a product, but if that product is the platform, hey,
Yeah.
you get a
But going
platform out of
back
it.
to what I think Travis had mentioned it. I backed a couple campaigns on there, and I don't think I've ever received anything. Or I might have, but like the thing is, there's no communication, right?
Right. That's the problem.
So
Yes.
it's like once you back, and same thing with Kickstarter. You get it from backers. They're like, oh shit, I forgot I backed this campaign.
Right.
But you're always there to remind them, so they know,
Right.
and they're like, oh yeah, you know what I mean. But with Zoop, there's just
It's a black hole. Once that campaign is over,
it's done. And even
Well-
during it, I don't think you're getting updates or anything. So it's
no,
just
at all. Like one or
Yeah.
two, maybe,
Yeah.
maybe.
yeah.
Well, and the other thing they do that I think is always freaks me out a little bit, they hide stuff. And what I mean by that is they'll take things down that don't fund, like and stuff
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. So
Yes.
you can't search
Yeah.
for like things that failed, which I think is even Indiegogo has that, right? Like, all right,
Yeah.
you want to see what failed? We'll show you what failed.
Yeah.
And they extend campaigns
extend
until
it,
they
right.
fund a lot of times. Yeah.
Which by the way, I think Kickstarter should have that option too at a certain percentage. If you're at 75% or whatever, you could extend it for a couple of days to rally, right? Like I love that option, and I don't see it being a problem, especially when you're an all or nothing platform. But I think there should be set rules. Like if you can get to 90%, we can get you the rest of the way. Maybe whatever happened, and like sometimes Kickstarter goes down at bad times.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's what I'd like to see, but whatever. But I think we have run our gamut. Everybody's got their money. I got mine. Actually, I just lost a backer, so I'm back in the hole. But I was fine before, so it's fine. Like we got one, lost one. It happens. It's the end of it.
Yep, I'm good. I'm up to 60 followers. So
Woo.
yeah, we gained good there. That's 7 extra followers from the show.
We're
Yeehaw.
at 207. We got 2 for both of you guys. We got stuff for
I got
people.
3. I got 3. I am $69 away from funding.
Man. So I'm going to share them one more time as people say goodbye. But again, we have a 100% success rate on our effing list. We're fine. We kill it every time. Oh shit! I really need to keep that.
I was gonna say.
I wrote stuff on the other side that I needed for work, and I'm just being.
You didn't throw it
copied.
away. It's all good.
I'll recopy it after. So,
You
Dave,
can
tell
use your
people that
Magneto
find you,
helmet.
and I'll share your shit one more time. So, people who are rocking, please back our shit. We need.
Yes, you can find me. Holy cow! You can find me on Facebook. Is probably where I am the most. It's Dave Baxter 42 on Facebook, and you can find me there. I am Son of Howl on Twitter. Not as active on Twitter, but I am there as well. And one of the best places to see what I'm doing, both with comics. And I do a wine and comics YouTube show. If you search for those two things, I'm the only fucker doing that. So wine and comics on YouTube, wine and comics on Substack. That is the wine and comics pairing show where we will have guests. Michael Watson, who was just here, he's coming on earlier. He's coming on next Tuesday. I got to get Steven on there as well. Steven, I realized we never actually got a date for this current campaign. So we got to do that.
Yeah.
So what wine
And
pairs
Tom,
with
when I'm big
Cat
enough
Girls in
for you,
spandex?
we will have to.
Yeah, Tom's kind of a big deal. Don't get cocky, kid.
Yeah. One day.
But no, he pairs wines. It's really interesting.
It's fun.
It's a really good show. I highly recommend it.
Yes.
Tom and Steven, reach out to Dave to be on the
No,
show.
I've been
sure.
on it already.
Yeah,
I had
Steve's been on
a
before.
lot of fun.
This will be
Oh,
this
see,
will be
he's-
his second.
He's more of a big deal than I am. See, he's already been on the ships.
You're intimidating, Tom. You have those ears. We can't just like
Mhm.
rush and assume.
That's the whole plan. It's Godzilla shirts and cat ears. You know, people don't know what the hell's going on.
Right? They don't know what to say.
Although, frankly, kaiju cats, that's a moneymaker.
There could be something there. There's something there. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
He's taking notes. Steve's taking notes. Issue 2.
Question for you, Tom. Why do
Yeah.
you not put like your numbers? Like a lot of people put like 1 through 22. Why do you just put 22? You know, the recommended standard is put 1 through 22 to show that they can get back issues or whatever.
Because fuck them.
Okay, fine.
You know,
He doesn't need
Okay.
to.
That's
That's the joy of
yeah, I think that my campaign, it has in the thing that nobody reads, because nobody reads it anyway. In the thing that nobody reads, I think it says something like critter number 22 plus the whole series, or you know, something along those lines. So there is a
In the
little,
submenu.
yeah, in the little mini heading there, I usually say something along those lines. Or if it's just like the last 3 issues, I'll be like, get numbers. Like when I did Ursa Minor, it was like number 1 and 2, number 1, 2, 3. So I vary it from time to time a little bit. In this case, we kind of came out swinging with like, just come get all of it, guys. You know, it's all here. But I also, for me, and this is the thing that just came from when I was in retail stores, numbers mean something as well. And the higher that number goes, people start to notice, like, what, 20 issues, 22
Right.
issues, 28
How have I
issues,
not heard
30
of
issues.
this? Right.
Yeah. I even had retail stores that were like, you have done 20 issues of this book. And I'm like, yeah. Plus the original miniseries. And they're like, that's amazing. So like when you saw Spawn go to 300, right? It was like the first indie book to hit 300 or whatever it was. Like people take notice of the numbers going up. So there's a nice way to do it with like a mini series, like volume 1 through 7, volume 2 1 through 7, like whatever, you can kind of do that. But if you use like a legacy number, like 1 through 7 and then 1 through 7 again, but you're like 8 through 14 and blah blah blah, the legacy number at least, then people can really see like, oh, this guy's like going, man, because the numbers are just not stopping. So if you see Critter 22, there could be a pushback because it's like, oh, 22, I'm too late. But at the same time, on the other side of the coin is, yo, this guy's been doing it a long time. This must be something of value if he's still at it at this sort of a high number.
And to your point, if you're at issue 22, you haven't not thought about having a back catalog to offer people. Like
Right.
you're not still going if you have. So it's like, I think there is that faith in someone that's made it to issue 22 where you're just like, okay. And then you go check out what you can pledge for and how they're grouped together to decide what you want. But you don't really question that somehow you're just not going to have issues 1 through 21.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. In some capacity. Yeah. I'm sure there's a way that I could do that branding better within the image, even like get the whole series or something like that. And that's something that I could consider, but yeah, I like the numbers, you know. For me, it's always been in the back of my head that I need to get to Critter 100 to validate myself, is to get to Critter 100, you know. So I Critter will always be an ongoing number, whereas I do the mini series with other things like 1 through 7, 1 through 7, 1 through 7. But Critter will always be an ongoing number.
I think it's interesting because it's funny when you talk to comic stores and you're not in Diamond, like 1 through 5 or so are easy, but like 6 through 9 are in difficult. They're like, you have too many books, you know, we can't sell it all at once. But then when you get to 10, they're like, oh, you did 10 or closer to 12. Oh, you've done a year's worth. That's a year's worth of books. So, but like that, like 6 to 11 are like, we don't really, that's too, you're in a weird spot. But then beyond that, you're fine. And below that, you're fine. It's just 6 through 11 where it gets weird.
Yeah, if you're super new, we can take a chance and see what we can do with a number 1. If you're super old, like clearly you've accomplished something because you've lasted. Yeah, but there's a weird middle spot where they're like, get out.
Yeah, we don't want you. But thank you guys for coming to hang out with us. Next week, we're doing this again, but next week's our special episodes. Those are Diamond. That's our direct market episode. So Tom will be back. He'll be talking about Critter for Final Cut Order. And we have a bunch of other people coming up, but it'll be David Pepos is coming out and a whole bunch of people. It'll be a lot of fun. Everybody who's in the direct market will be coming. We've got Metal Shark Bro guys. I'm sorry, I'm tired, so I'm thinking, but we've got a lot of really cool people coming out for that. So next week that's going to be doing that. So you won't even have to buy. You can lie to us, motherfuckers, which is great. I can't track any of that. You could just be like, I called my comic store. I'm like, you know, we know you didn't.
I don't
It's
have I don't actually have a comic yet, so I can't do that lie yet. But we'll get there.
Right. But you could lie and say you called the comic store for this book, right? And Dave, I got to know, did you read the digital that was released for Granite State Punk: The Coven? Did you see
Not yet.
it?
Not yet. I downloaded it. I have it, but I have not read it yet.
All right. So let me know what you think when you read the whole
I will.
shebang, because we released that earlier this week, and that was very cool. But
Yes, it was.
we are out. Good night. Go to bed if you're on the East
Out.
Coast. If you're on the West Coast, warm up. Wear a long sleeve shirt. I
Good
guess.
night. Good to meet you, Tom.
You too.
Good night, everybody.
All right. Good night.
Hey guys, thanks Travis. Thanks everyone.